Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Detention Docket Dinner. Here I am. Um, I broke this earlier. This is my jar of flour. It's everywhere. I am a little bit depressed about it. Give me one moment. We're going to get started with Detention Docket. You want more ice cream? Okay. And we got another order for ice cream in the kitchen. I hope you guys are all doing well. Can everyone let me know what you've had for dinner tonight? Can you let Are you guys crazy? I'm I'm literally trying to talk. Peyton, go ahead. I'm gonna get it in a second. Um, there we go. Am I really quiet tonight? Possibly. Um, I've got no, but look what happened. I got more flour. This puppy right here. We're good. So, let me get ice cream. Let me get you guys a show going. Let's get us going, and then we will get going more. Okay? I am so thankful that you're all here, and let's continue. Where's the button that I need? There it is. Yes, please. Okay, now we're gonna go here. Judge Kim. We need you. We need you, Judge Kim. I am not sure that's enough flour, Electrohead Gino. Only 10 kilos. Who can tell me how many pounds that is in the chat? Okay, guys. Also, I think these hands you're asking me, oh my god, do not start with me experiencing interruptions, YouTube. I can't handle it. Um, these hands, I think you were going to make one of these paintings that Guerrero has behind her head. I'm not sure. I think that's what it is. Oh, skipped frames. What are you guys watching? You guys got lots of internet going?
All right, good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd on Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Despite the governor's order, we are still under the conditions set by the Texas Supreme Court, emergency order number 33 related to coronavirus. And so we are conducting proceedings remotely via Zoom in order to give the public meaningful access to public courtrooms. We are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. Now this is still a court proceeding. I'd like to remind everyone appropriately for court, so please do not be laying down. Do not be in a moving vehicle or on the walking trail. Please be dressed appropriately. Please not be using drugs or using the lavatory during court. I say this because this has all happened. No portion of this broadcast may be recorded or published. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. And if you are a parent here in Zoom, you're expected to be on camera with the camera on your face. If you cannot do so, then you need to be here in person. And if you're an officer of the court, you're excused from this requirement. And you can turn on and off your camera as you feel most appropriate for your duties. All right, so we have one person dialing in. Do we know who that is? Just a phone without a video? Okay. I'm going to remove them. All right. Okay, we'll start with the first one had waved, Mr. Demerson. We're looking at Haider Al-Bakhtari. Haider, are you here? All right, Haider.
Yes, Judge Kim, I'm here.
Thank you. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. Deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And we have appointed Mr. Gladstone as your attorney. Richard, are you here this morning? Oh,
I'm here, Judge.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Gladstone.
Good morning.
All right. So, Haider, you're 16, approaching 17 years old. Level 1 outstanding. You were on probation for criminal trespass. You had probation before for possession of a controlled substance in a drug-free zone. And when you came in, you tested positive for marijuana. And so January 16th, Arlington PD brought you in. You're saying on the 12th of January, there were shots fired at an apartment complex. There were 5 to 6 shots fired. Witness says his son was being shot at. And a suspect in a red Chevy Malibu. The police got there. They met with other victims. Said they were outside, saw the Malibu. They recognized the vehicle belonged to Stewart. And there's another incident, January 11th, involving a gun being discharged with a police report. I saw Stewart in the back seat, 2 other males in the vehicle, light-skinned Middle Eastern male known as Iraq driving the vehicle. Witnesses saw him steering with his left hand, pointing a handgun, I guess with his other hand, and then shot at the victims. So, all right. Police notice vehicles damaged by gunfire, bullets lodged in the vehicles, and
I could ask you a question, please.
hold on, let me finish. Okay. So, yeah, I'm looking at this. There's a weapon discharged, and with a history and the fact that you're on probation when you shouldn't have had a weapon in the first.
You guys, I apologize. I believe that there is flour in very many crevices in this kitchen at the moment, including possibly microphone areas. This is the hazard of having kitchen court. I appreciate you all. What I hope is that I sound like Judge Porter did the other day, like a little kitten, but I bet not. Anyways, I just want to let y'all know that this is what's happening. I love you all for putting up with me. Please remember, we're voting. These are 2021 detention hearings from the 323rd District Court of Tarrant County, Texas. Judge Kimmy Kim is presiding today. We can vote as many times as we want. And you can go ahead and change it up. Oh, good. I'm glad I sound better now. You can change it up whenever you want. Vote as many times as you'd like. And I literally had a flower explosion. The jar that I've used, I think that jar is older than me. My mother had it. Um, it exploded here right as I was about to make my pita bread. So now you're going to watch me make my pita bread from scratch. But I'm going to get this going. I just wanted to let you know where we're at. I'm glad we're back to good audio. Let's continue. Thank you, guys.
Place, and then now it looks like you're doing a drive-by shooting. I'm very concerned about the safety of you as well as the safety of the community, so I'm going to detain you. Now, you said you had a question for me?
Yes, sir. Since my people don't know how to get on the Zoom because they foreigners, they don't really know how to do the app. If they pull up here, if they could just come here, like, can they come to court? Because they don't know how to do it on the phone. My dad don't know how to do it on the phone, so he just come. He could come on person to court and do it on here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a computer, that little screen that says juvenile parent. That's where the parents are, and they can come personally to the courtroom and watch the person. I'm sorry, do you want me to finish talking, answer your question, or do you just want to ask?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And I got a question for my attorney. Can I talk to my attorney, please? If you could comment, please.
The attorney can call you, but I'm not going to make every other kid waiting for you to talk to the attorney.
Hater, I'll give you a call. I've been trying to get hold of you. But you've been hard to get hold of because there was a disturbance the other day back there, and then I'm out where the service isn't good. But hopefully, I'll give you a call today. I'm on vacation.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Hater.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gladstone. All right,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Beasley, William Beasley. I just realized we are almost at the end of Zoom detention hearings. We're almost at the end of the YouTube detention hearings. All right, so Mr. Beasley, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Adler. Security controller, are you back there?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a conflict with another criminal district court. So the next child I want to do is Kenyon Maloney, just to give you all notice.
After this young man?
All right, so we're going to go out of order for Mr. Maloney. All right, so William, you've been here for 43 days. You're level 1 outstanding, which is good. You're on probation for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and you had a pending case for evading arrest and harassment of public servant. And we released you to the community, and now Fort Worth PD brought you in because we issued a warrant for you. I'm going to ask Mr. Thomas, why did we issue a DTA for Mr. Beasley?
Your Honor, the DTA was issued for a failure to appear for court. He was scheduled for court on October 19th, and he and the family failed to appear.
Okay. All right, so you didn't show up for court, so we issued a warrant for you, and police knew you're fugitive, so staked out your residence, saw you leaving, traffic stop, and asked your mom where you were. She said you were at home, so she let them into the house, found you in the back room, trying to hide from the police, so you were taken into custody. There was a robbery charge from January 2nd, dispatched at Domino's Pizza. Victim said he was delivering pizza and beverages to an apartment, knocked on the door, got no response. When he went back to the car, 2 black males came up, asked about the pizza. So the driver evidently handed the 2 black males the food. When they were looking at the food, third person came from behind, hit the victim with a closed fist, and then they all ran with the food. So called the police to report the crime, tracked the phone number, came back to your number. And there were 3 other more similar robbery instances that occurred in the previous days in the same apartment complex with the same MO. All an apartment complex that you live in. And you're also positive for marijuana while you are on probation. So, Mr. Beasley, do we have a parent here for Mr. Beasley?
That is a negative, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Beasley, the things I need to consider about detaining or releasing you is you are a danger to yourself. If you're a danger to others, you're likely not to appear to court. I do believe if you're a danger to others, I do believe you'll not appear for court. So now your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, I don't mind answering your question, but if you want to tell me something, don't tell me anything. Your attorney doesn't want you to. So, Mr. Beasley, do you have a question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Beasley. Jason
Thank
Cruz.
you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cruz, I'm sorry, this is, one we're doing out of order. So Kenyon Maloney. Do we have him ready? How close are we getting Kenyon Maloney?
He's here, Your Honor.
Oh, there we go. Hello, Mr. Maloney. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you, release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Hall is your attorney. Good morning, Mr. Hall.
Good morning, Judge. Thanks for moving me up.
Well, I understand you got a criminal case, so give all the deference we can. Well, you don't have a criminal case. You have a criminal setting to appear.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a criminal case yet.
Hopefully I won't.
So, all right, Kenyon. You've been here for 16 days. You're level 1 outstanding. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, police were dispatched for robbery at 7-Eleven. Police got there. There's 6 males that came in the store, went to the bathroom, mouthed off, told the clerks at 7-Eleven, go ahead and call the police because the police aren't going to show up today. This is the eve of the winter storm. And then they all came back and robbed again, went to the Kroger parking lot next door and waited. Police showed up. Everyone ran except for one person. And they hit the store clerk several times in the face. So, and you were positive for weed. So,
Judge, I talked to his mom yesterday. She's wanting him to come home on the EM, and also the SNDP core team are wanting to continue working with him and his family. So I asked that he be released on a monitor.
Mr. Spence, is this the one that stayed or one of the ones that ran from the police?
He ran from the police.
Yeah, Ray, I'm not ready to leave him yet. I mean, it's a group, you know, it's kind of gang activity. And he just continued his efforts by running from the police when they showed up. And he had contacts with this court before where he's just walking in and out of the house. And I'm just not comfortable releasing him. It was just so brash and brazen what they did at the 7-Eleven, allegedly. And then he's also smoking weed with his going on. Mr. Spence, his behavior level, let's see. I guess he pretty much got to level 1 outstanding right away and has been there ever since, right?
He was dropped one day to acceptable when he wasn't wearing his mask correctly, but he got right back to level 1 outstanding.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Mr. Spence, what's your recommendation?
Now, as I said in my report, we're willing to work with him in the community. He does show some potential. The main problem is just keeping him at home. His MHMR therapist, Mr. Martinez, is here if you have any questions for him.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Spence, I mean, I know you say you're willing to work with him in the community, but if I order it, you don't have a choice, right? So my thing is, I just want your recommendation. You've been doing this for a long time. Is this a kid that needs to be released to the community to resume services, or you think he's a danger that I shouldn't release him?
Your Honor, I would have no problem releasing him if he is released on EM.
But that didn't answer my question. What's your recommendation? I need just a recommendation from you.
You can release him on EM and we'll be happy.
But that's not a recommendation. Mr. Spence, I know it's tough. It's been 25 years here where the court hasn't been asking. I need you to tell me, you recommend to release him or you recommend to keep him?
I recommend that you release him on EM.
Okay, I'll release him on EM.
Thank you, sir.
So, Kenyon, I'm going to let you know this is Mr. Spence going to bat for you right now. I was perfectly happy keeping you here for a little bit longer just because you doubled down on your bad behavior, allegedly. But Mr. Spence is willing to give you a chance. So my advice to you is if Mr. Spence is going to do this for you, show him the respect by listening to him and following what he tells you to do. All right? This all goes back to home, because if you're not participating or if you're not level 1 outstanding at home, then I'll just bring you back here. All right? So you prove me that you can do it. That means I'm expecting you to do it. And when I say it, that means behave and be level 1 outstanding. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Maloney.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, now we have Jason Garcia Cruz. You know, Mary, you and I had the same conversations. I'll ask you, what do you recommend? Like, well, you are doing better. Well, if the court thinks it's the right thing, Mary, that didn't answer my question. Jason Cruz. All right, Mr. Cruz, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Masick as your attorney. I think I saw Mr. Masick earlier, did I?
Your Honor, Mr. Masick called and said he was going to be unable to appear today.
Okay. So, Ms. Jacobson, I'm going to ask you to step in.
Your Honor, also mom's only Spanish speaking.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Do we have somebody in the room that can interpret for her?
I'm in the courtroom, Judge. It's Daniel.
All right, thank you. All right, so Jason, you have never been here before, but you have a petition on file in Collin County for evading arrest with a motor vehicle. You're on probation in Dallas County for 2 counts of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, 2 counts of evading arrest, and unlawfully carrying a weapon. And you have a petition on file in Denton County for engaging in organized crime, 2 counts of burglary of a habitation, 4 counts of burglary of a motor vehicle, and an active warrant out of Dallas, or out of Denton. So you are just, this is the Grand Slam, Collin, Dallas, Denton, now Tarrant. All right, so Grand Prairie brought you in, saying at about 1:20 in the morning, they were dispatched to residents in regards to homeowner's vehicle being broken into. Homeowner security cameras, victim and the daughter were outside, told the suspects to get out of the cars, and the police were being called. Described one as Hispanic male wearing black jacket and blue jeans. Second person, Hispanic male wearing blue jacket and black jeans with a Gucci-style mask. Second suspect approached both with his hand in his pocket and said he would shoot them both. The victims felt fear in their lives. So, can you go there and tell them to be quiet? And then they fled in a gray Tundra, which was located by the police. There were 4 people in the car. Jason was identified as the second suspect. And he's the one that his hand in his pocket, making it look like he had a gun, said he would shoot him. All right, so now you're here for a robbery case. All right, well, Jason, at this point, I feel like if I was to release you, 2 things. One is that you'd be a danger to yourself or to the others. I don't know if you actually had a gun or not, but if they had a gun and you threatened them, they would be justified in shooting you. And the second thing is, with the other cases in other counties, I don't know when I'd get you back. So I'm afraid that you will not appear for court if I was to release you. So I'm going to go and detain you. Can I say that one more second? Just 16 years old. So you have to understand, you're looking at a robbery case. You are potentially can get up to 20 years in commitment in Texas Juvenile Justice Department and then transferred to the adult prison system if you are actually found delinquent having committed these offenses. So I need to let you know that this is a very serious offense. My advice to you is when Mr. Masick gets in contact with you, that you work with him and you help him by getting your behavior level at 1 outstanding and keeping it. The worse you behave here, the worse it's probably going to end up for you when your case is over. Okay? All right. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Euless Goodwin.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Goodwin, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to an attorney. You have the right to remain silent. Mr. Berger has been appointed as attorney. Good morning, Mr. Berger.
My understanding, Your Honor, is that he wasn't going to be able to make it
Oh.
today.
Okay, hello, Ms. Jacobson. Ms. Jacobs is going to step in and for Mr. Berger. All right, so Euless, you were on probation for criminal mischief, but you finished that. And then, let's see, on January 29th, you were referred by Arlington PD for burglary. There was a burglary call at the storage unit. When police got there, detained you. The husband had you detained. Victim said when they got there, saw a black male standing near the unit. Wife unlocked the unit, Suspects ran out. Looks like they came in over the wall between the units. So back on January 14th, Arlington was dispatched. They met the victims. There were 3 handguns missing. Oh, this is the one I understand. So the guns are gone. I think it looked like U.S. was trying to sell the guns, and we don't know. The guns have not been recovered yet. So, U.S., I'm afraid that if I was to let you go, that you would just acquire the guns that you previously had, or evidently it looks like that you stole, and that you would be a danger to yourself and the community. Until those guns are recovered, I'm just really concerned about releasing you, just to let you know. All right, thank you, Mr. Goodwin. Jose Lava Verde. Landa Verde. All right, Jose, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid is brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, we'll provide one for you. Mr. Beaver has been appointed as your attorney.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Beaver. So, Jose. All right, so Jose, you're 15 years old. You are on probation out of Dallas County, and you have had 19 offenses referred to Dallas County. You've just never been here before. I don't know what this pattern of kids on probation out of Dallas coming to Tarrant and get arrested is, but not good for us. All right, so this is one. Cars being broken into, home security camera. Daughter and dad went out, and these van males came up and threatened to shoot them. There are 4 people in the truck. Do we have, so Mr. Lahara, do we have anything that links Jose to the ones breaking into the cars? Mr. Lahara?
Yes, Your Honor, going over the police.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, I reviewed this earlier.
Your Honor, he was actually found in the truck
Right.
when the police caught up with him. So he was still inside the truck. So
The only other piece of info, Your Honor, is that there were various items found all about the truck or the vehicle. So it's a little shaky, but that's between those 2 items. That's how the police ended up charging everybody with robbery.
Has he been adjudicated delinquent in Dallas County?
yes, Your Honor, he's currently on probation for 1 year.
What type of offense?
Originally it was a family violence case, and he was adjudicated on an assault with bodily injury.
Any felony level offenses in Dallas County?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Any felony level offenses in Dallas County?
I will let you know right now. Yes, Your Honor, he has some referrals on felony.
Like he was adjudicated delinquent for felony?
No, he's only had 1 adjudication, which is the current one he's on probation for.
Well, given that the door to that truck, the passenger door was stuck and he was unable to escape, to get out, I'm not sure there's enough here.
Your Honor, I appreciate the court considering this case so carefully. I don't believe that Mr. Landaverde has a parent in the courtroom. I spoke with her this morning and she said she was unable to
I understand. So, all right. So I just don't think there's enough here, whether he's along for the ride or if he's actually planning or benefiting from it. So, you know what, Mr. Landaverde, at this point, I'm going to find there's no probable cause. That means they can't explain what you did that actually committed a crime. Although it looks real, it could be bad. But at this point, I don't have enough information. So I'm going to go ahead and release your parent whenever they can pick you up. All right. Now, that's not to say the case may not come down later on. And if it does, you're looking at up to 20 years of commitment and transfer to adult prison if it does come back. So my advice to you is probably find different people to hang out with and start doing that now. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Landaverde. Dylan Moore.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Marcus Miller. That's my fault. Mr. Miller, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have a right to an attorney. We've appointed Ms. Abels as your attorney. I don't think he's here. Julie, I'm going to ask you to step in as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Marcus, you've never been here before. Arlington PD brought you in on criminal mischief case. They're saying about 11:30, they were dispatched to Millwood, patient causing damage, assaulting staff. Talked to the chief nurse that said you became upset while in treatment, acted out, jumped on the nurse's station desk, damaged the desk, a computer monitor, and vital sign reader. Damaged about $3,700. The desk also struck an employee as it broke. The employee said they felt pain but did not want to prosecute and did not need medical attention. Officer spoke to you. You said you became upset after almost having a physical altercation with another resident. So you were brought over here. You are currently in CPS custody and on probation out of Smith County. All right, so I guess who's here from the department for Marcus?
I'm his caseworker, Your Honor. And
Okay, great.
Also rep that's with me as well, Your Honor.
Okay, so my question for you is, what is his current status with this department? Is he PMC? Is it still pending?
He is PMC at this time. Rights are terminated with both parents. And so, yes, he was recently moved out of a regional treatment facility into the psych hospital where this altercation happened.
Okay. Why was he removed from the regional treatment facility?
That's the charges that he's pending in Smith County. He assaulted a staff member there. And I did bring some records. He shows he's prone to violence. If he's released from you all, he'll go into our custody and be in a state office. And he's already assaulted staff members at our state office. And he has several charges that are pending from 2019, or several charges that were dismissed in 2019 and 2018 that involve aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated robbery, harassment of person in correctional detention, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Due to his history, we believe that if he's brought back in and placed with us, not with an RTC, he'll offend again. Right now, we're working with a statewide placement agency to place Marcus in an appropriate facility. And so right now, that's why we're here. We're asking if there's any way. I understand the charges he's pending now here in this county. They're willing to release him, but we would like to ask if he could be retained here until we find appropriate placement for him in an RTC.
How long do you need?
I don't know. It could be tomorrow. We've been looking for placement for him. This is above my regional director. It's at the state level. We had a staffing on him yesterday. As soon as I find placement, I'd be willing to come up and get him.
I understand that, but my perspective on this is juvenile detention is not an RTC.
I understand.
So I just need, historically, I've always been willing to work with the department and try and OCOK and try and give you all some time and some latitude, but it can't be when it happens, it happens. I need a date certain. How much time do you need?
I wish I had an answer for you, sir, Your Honor. I don't have an answer. I know we staffed it yesterday, and I know they're looking at the statewide level. We have everybody on this case specifically working to find him placement as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know now. If you can't give me a date, I'm not gonna keep him. If you give me a date, I'll work with it. But if you're leaving it open-ended, I'm not gonna make his detention here open-ended.
Could we do 10 days, Your Honor? And if we don't have 10 days, I'll be back here.
We'll do till next Friday. Okay, so that's 9.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because it's either gonna be 9 days or 13 days. So I'll give you till next Friday to find a place. If not, then so Mary, if we can set this for a detention hearing on Friday, I think it's March 12th, and then at that point, if they don't have a place, then we'll figure it out then. All right. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of time. But I just, I know it's not as much time as you want, but I can't. This is not a good facility, especially it's like he has multidisciplinary needs.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this place is probably better than an office. In the short term, in the long term, it's worse than the office. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand that.
Where I'm coming from. Okay. All right. So Marcus, I hope you understand what's going on. Marcus, I do have a question for you. Yesterday, when allegedly this all happened, were you on your medication? No? Okay. So if you're on your medication, are things generally okay?
Well, I was really upset because I was on.
Marcus, hold on. So here's the thing. You've got a case here, so I don't want to hear about the case. This is not like a trial. I don't want you to put yourself in a spot, right? I'm trying to look out for you. So I'm just asking about your medication because it has nothing to do with your case.
Yes, I was on it.
You were on it? Okay. What did they change the medication recently?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
Yeah. They change it all the time.
Right. Do you remember the last time they changed it?
Yeah, it was like when I first got in the hospital. They changed it to Seroquel and Depakote.
Okay. So department, when did he go to Millwood?
He went to Millwood exactly 29 days ago, Your Honor. He has been changed. I believe the change was on the 15th of this month when they changed his medication.
Okay. So we have a psychiatrist that comes by here, but he has a treating psychiatrist, and I don't want to interfere with that. And so I'm assuming that you'll probably go have him visit the psychiatrist when you take possession of him, right?
Yes, Your Honor. When we had the incident that he's currently on right now, we had him admitted to Millwood to have an assessment.
Oh, so did he complete the assessment?
I have not received a copy of that yet, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Dylan Moore.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Moore, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. And so this is where Grand Prairie Police showed up. I guess you're punching holes in the wall, throwing things around the room. And the pending cases that all happened November of 2020. In April 2020, you're brought in here for taking grandma's car without permission. And then in August of 2020, evading arrest with a motor vehicle. There were juvenile passengers in the car and you struck a parked car. And this is your grandmother's car. We have somebody for the department here.
He's not in CPS custody, Your Honor.
Okay, I thought there was an investigation. I guess there was just an investigation at one point.
There was a family-based safety services case, never an investigation.
Right.
And there's a typo at the bottom of the detention hearing report. I meant to type that his hearing is scheduled for tomorrow morning, March 4th at 8:30. I accidentally put the 3rd.
So we do have him set for tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dylan, you're level 3 confined, so you know I'm not letting you go. We'll have court tomorrow. What is set tomorrow, Mr. Lewis?
Adjudication and disposition.
And we do not have a parent here for Dylan, correct?
No, sir.
All right. Who is he in front of? In front of me or Judge Terry, Judge Porter?
Let me look.
Porter, I believe.
Let you know.
I'm sorry, Miss Taylor?
I think it's Judge Porter.
Okay. All right, well, Dylan, you got your day in court tomorrow, but if you're level 3, I'm not letting you out. You need that. So I'm going to detain you, okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
thank you, Mr. Moore.
You're welcome, sir.
Julian Munoz. Mr. Munoz, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Sierra as your attorney. Good morning, Mr. Sierra.
Morning.
All right, so Julian, yesterday you referred forward PD. So according to the police, around 8 o'clock in the morning, they were dispatched to domestic. When they got there, talked to your mom, who said you refused to go to school and became upset. The police report said that you held a butcher knife behind your back, brandished the knife towards your mom. She feared for her life, backed away, and spoke to you and managed to get the knife away from you. You've never been here before. All right, well, Mom, you're here?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about this not going to school problem.
Yes, he had been doing online school for about last month, and he had found out that he has not been turning in any of his work. So then the teachers urged me to send him back to school. And also I thought that he needed to go back to school. So I told him the evening before that he needed to go back to school in person. So I told him that evening before that he was going to go back, and he never did agree with that. But I kept telling him that, and the next morning I kept telling him to get ready for school, and he wouldn't listen to me. And then it became.
So is his attitude problem just about school, or does it go into other things as well?
Oh, he never obeys.
Okay. All right, so this makes it really easy for me. Then, Julian, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and detain you. And part of this is I want you to show me that you can follow the rules. So are you familiar with our behavior level system here? They explain that. I'm expecting you to get to level 1 outstanding, and to hold level 1 outstanding, we'll see you at the 10-day mark. You will not get to level 1 outstanding if you do not follow the rules. You will not get to level 1 outstanding if you're aggressive or assaultive. You will not get to level 1 outstanding if you don't go to school here and participate. If you're slow to follow the rules, if you refuse to follow the rules, all these things you'll deduct points and you will just not get out of here. But if you do everything right and you're level 1 outstanding at the next hearing, then that tells me you are able to follow the rules, and that opens the door to the conversation that will consider releasing you. I'm not saying I'm going to, I'm saying I'll consider it. At this point, you've made decisions right now that put you in the spot. You can either continue to dig the hole deeper than it already is, or you can stop digging and start to climb out. I am going to let you know, because of the nature of the offense, you are looking at, you could go to prison for up to 20 years because the knife was used. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that is the worst thing that could happen out of this. You could be committed to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department because of this. So it is important that you show me that you've changed, that this is not who you really are, that if I do let you go home to your mom, that you will actually be the son that I expect you to be. Okay? All right, thank you, Julian. Joseph Navarez.
That's it for today. Did y'all meet with Mr. Ortiz?
Here, Judge.
All right, Mr. Navarez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing, and you've been here for 10 days deciding whether to keep you or release you. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. Mr. Adler is your attorney, and he is here. And this is the Main Street shooting over in the stockyards. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, it is.
All right, Mr. All right, so Joseph, so we do not have a parent here. Joseph, you are level 3. You know, if you're level 3, I'm not letting you go. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Nicholas Nero. Mr. Nero, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing.
Yes,
The
sir.
case brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 business days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney.
Yes, sir.
You've appointed Mr. Adler as your attorney. So this is one of the Grand Prairie, breaking into a car. 2 people got out, pretending they had a gun, threatened to shoot the homeowner and his daughter. Got back in the Tundra, left, and got in a car chase. 4 people in the truck, 3 of them ran. And He was possession, when Nero ran from the truck, he was found in possession of marijuana.
Your Honor?
So I'm gonna ask Mr. Dotson, which one was he? Was he the other one actually digging through the car?
No, Your Honor, he was in the forerunner waiting. And they said because he was in the forerunner waiting, that is why he was included in the robbery. His mother may be in the waiting room, Your Honor. I was late sending her the
No, she is.
Okay, good.
Were you late in giving her the link to the
Yes,
Zoom
I
meeting?
apologize, sir, yes.
Okay, I'll let her back in then.
And he also has extensive history in Dallas County. He is on probation in Dallas County and has another case pending from Collin County for burglary of a vehicle.
Yeah. So Nicholas, you know, you're in this car with other kids that are breaking into cars, with a whole bunch of stolen goods inside the car, and then you run from the police while it's going on. I just, you know, like that if I was to release you, you'd be a danger to yourself or danger to others. And so I'm going to go and detain you. And I'm just really not happy with kids coming from other counties, coming here to Tarrant County and getting arrested for offenses, especially if you've already got cases or on probation out of a different county. So you're detained here, and Mr. Adler will contact you and hopefully can help you out with your case. Thank you. Oh, and Mr. Nero, one more thing. Because of this offense, you are actually looking at possibly being committed to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department for up to 20 years, and after your 19th birthday, being transferred to TDC, adult prison. So I need to let you know that this is a very serious offense. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that's what could happen. So make sure you do your best to help your attorney, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Ethan Nordyke.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Nordyke, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to remain silent. Mr. Adler is your attorney. You're on probation for robbery, and then there's so many pending offenses. Can't even. You're on probation for robbery, and then this is where evidently victim says that you set up a buy for marijuana and then got robbed. So, and then there was a gun involved. So Ethan, I'm just concerned if I was to let you go that you would continue your theft and your violent behavior, and you'd be a danger to yourself as well as to others. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Thank you. All right, so at this point, we have been broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public has meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom. However, Chapter 54.08 of the Texas Family Code states that when a proceeding involves a child under the age of 14, the proceedings are presumed to be closed to the public unless the court finds that the public or the child would be better served by opening these proceedings. So I'm now going to close these proceedings to the public, and we'll go without broadcasting. I'm going to say no portion of this broadcast may be recorded, copied, or published. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. We need 30 seconds for
can't even talk today. Hilarious. Jacqueline, I said, thank you for sending that email to me. I will check it soon. I said, everybody else, thanks for being here. We are going on. I'm going to do one episode at least, and we'll see how we do. I've taken some payments. I will start feeling better soon. You guys make me laugh so much. This is just as they roll in, so. And watch all stuff about the coronation coming out. There I am. There I am. I want to believe. Circle of doom. No, you know what? We live, die by the circle, guys. Live and die by the circle. The circle.
Unable to breathe. She said she smelled marijuana.
Whoa, Judge Kimmy, we need to hear your intro. It's the best.
Tiffany Small, Anna Cortez.
If Judge Kim were a wrestler, what music intro would he have? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what music intro would he have?
No portion of this detention hearing may be copied, recorded, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court.
Whole thing, Judgy.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Thursday, March 4th, 2021. To comply with Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings, but we are on Zoom. And to provide the public with meaningful access to public courtrooms, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. No portion of this detention hearing may be copied, recorded, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in county jail and a $500 fine. This is still a court proceeding. The court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court. And so that means does expect everyone to have the camera on and centered on view, unless you are an officer of the court. So if you're a parent here, you need to have the camera on. So M. Santos, please have your camera on. Tiffany Small, Anna Cortez. Please refrain from having moving backgrounds like ceiling fans or being in a vehicle that's moving, as that's a distraction for everyone else in this court proceeding. And all right, let's go ahead and start with Kristen Bedoy. Kristen?
Yes.
Hello, Kristen. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Ms. Nicoya as your attorney. I don't think I've seen Violet yet. I'm going to ask Mr. Daniel if you can substitute in for Mr.
Yes, sir.
Right. Good morning, Mr. Daniel.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so Kristen, let's see. You are 16 years old. You've never been here before.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you were referred by Grand Prairie Police Department saying at about 10 o'clock, they were dispatched for domestic. Mom said that she was choked by you and unable to breathe. She said she smelled marijuana inside your room and began to search. She found a phone, which you're not allowed to have. So she took possession of it. This evidently upset you as you wrapped her arms around her neck, pulled her onto the bed and began to squeeze. And so you were brought here. Now you're looking at an assault family of violence by impeding breath or circulation. Just to let you know, that is different than an assault family of violence. Hold on, Mr. Daniel. Ms. Nicoya was late coming to
Okay.
the center.
Very good.
So, yeah, Ms. Nicoya, this is your client that I'm talking to. So, Kristen, this is different than just an injury. This is where you impede breath or circulation by choking. And this could result, it's a felony level offense, could result in commitment to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. It also means if you were an adult, if you were 17 at the time, you could be looking at up to 10 years in prison for this. Just to let you know that this is a serious matter. You are not looking at 10 years in prison because it's a juvenile offense, but I want to make sure you understand that this is something that's very serious.
Okay.
All right, so that being said, do we have a mother here?
I'm not sure.
Do we
Her
have
mother is here, Judge.
where is she?
She should be in the family room, sir.
Okay. Do we not have the family room set up?
It doesn't look that way. I don't see them on Zoom.
Yes, if you are at
What do you have, Bedoy?
Bedoy. Okay. I don't even, yeah, but I don't even think the parents' courtroom is set up. Yeah, if you could. Oh no, they're coming on now.
Bigs Against Bullshit asked a good question. Has anybody
There we are.
been juvie? It's scary. Well, we're going to have my dad on the stream, and my dad was a jail guard in juvie in Canada. A little bit different, but still, he was working with murderers, etc. So we'll get some inside stories. I've been getting him to actually like think about his favorite stories that he's had, and he's gonna do that. So that's exciting. Anybody that's new here, welcome. These are detention dockets. They are originally from the 2020 timeframe, and they're from the 323rd District Court of Tarrant County, Texas. We like to vote in the chat, 1 for detained, 2 for release, 3 for I don't know. And you can definitely change your vote as many times as you want. We're a fun chat here. There's points that you earn for watching. That's totally free. You can also join the kitchen staff and become a member. And yeah, there's lots of fun going on here. But and oh yeah, I'm here. I am here. Oh yeah. Yeah. It'll be very fun to meet my dad. He has a Scottish accent too, guys. So, and remember he sang Night Terrors. I'm going to get him to try and do a live version of Night Terrors. I think there is some like timeout period for the points. I'm not sure how it all works. I just turned it on for you guys, so we'll figure it out as we go. But thank you for being here, and thank you. The points are for nothing. They are just for feeling good and having fun, Debbie. just for fun. I like fake gambling, and that's what it is. So anybody know why Kimbo is called Kimbo? Yes, I do. Originally, I thought that Kimbo, the facility where these children are held, the detention center, was called that because um, Judge Kim was making a sort of reference to Gitmo and his last name, Kimbo. And I was like, huh, that's crazy. Like, outrageous, but okay. Anyways, no, that's not the case. It is literally located on Kimbo Road in Tarrant County, Texas. That is why. So they come by the name completely honestly. But that is why it's called Kimbo. Thank you all for reporting for duty. Last reminder, we take attendance here by clicking that like button. Make sure you've clicked it, or you can click the dislike button, whichever you prefer. Let's continue. Also, what is Valencia doing beside me here?
All right.
Thank you for your
That's
patience.
it. Thank you. No, thank you for your help. May I put my stuff right here or?
All right, hello, Ms. Bedoya. I just went over with your daughter what evidently happened. So I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, why was your daughter not allowed to have a cell phone?
She's not allowed to have a cell phone. She had been using internet and social media to communicate with people to provide her with drugs. There is a pending case in Tarrant County Criminal District Attorney's Office, and Detective McGee, who's the investigator for the case, had personally told me not to provide Kristen with any cell phone or any computer.
Okay, so when you say the DA is investigating, they're not investigating her, they're investigating somebody else that involves her?
Correct, that is correct.
Okay, I understand that. All right, so Mom, sounds like you're doing the right thing. How long has this been going on?
Which one in particular?
Well, her not having a cell phone.
She hasn't had her cell phone since December the 25th.
Okay, well.
One that I had provided, but she does have a cell phone up until yesterday. It wasn't something that came from me. Somebody had given it to her or she's procured it some other way.
How's she doing in school?
The last time she was in virtual, I mean, her grades are pretty, not very consistent. And she started.
Okay, so Mom, that didn't answer my question. How's she doing in school?
Not very well.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. How's she doing in school? What kind of grades is she making?
The major subjects are low.
Okay.
Physics,
What is
algebra,
low? What is?
like in the 60s.
Okay, so she's failing.
Yes.
Okay, not well is not. Failing is worse than not well.
Okay.
Okay, just gotta check in here, guys. In Canada, that's not a fail. If that was a fail, 60s, Judge Kim, I would have failed everything, and I already failed a lot of things, which is below 50. Oh, I've actually read about this where the grading system is very different in the States versus Canada, but that just makes me really mad. Like, really mad. Because let me tell you something. If I bring my frickin' 64 home for physics and you bitch and you both are sitting there going, oh, you got low classes. That's a D. Well, we don't have Ds. What are you talking about? That's a D. What? What? Okay, well, how it works in Canada is 50 and above is a pass. There's no Ds. You don't get a D. You have an F or an I, actually. I is incomplete. And then, like, a C minus is the lowest it goes. C minus, which was like 50 to 57 or something. And then a C, and then a C plus. And yeah. So, listen, school is not made for everybody. You have to remember, I'm a pretty smart person, and I failed a lot in school. And I don't know. It just seems like, well, I also went, there's lots about me. I went to this school where they don't do letter grades until like the 8th grade, so I never received a letter grade ever until the 8th grade. And yeah, I understand a little bit the grades, I guess, but I really don't, honestly. I really don't. Because it's not that everyone gets a trophy, Valentino. It's actually that, like, I think they've figured it out where it's a little bit of a more, like, accurate representation of um what your level might be. I don't know. honestly, I tell my daughter's teachers every year, I don't look at the report cards. You can send them home if you want to, but I don't look at them because that's not how we measure success in our family. Yeah, see, we don't have D, so D wouldn't be a pass here. You got a C minus and then an F. So, and 70 is like definitely not failing. Oh my God. I got mostly on my report cards, I got written like, why can Kitchen not do what other kids are doing? Why is she, it was like an ADD handbook of what you now look for a kid that has ADD. But I was undiagnosed for all throughout school. So I remember teachers pulling their hair out. They're like, why do you come? Why do you even come here and do this if you're not going to turn in the homework? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why. But like I'm capable of A's and B's, but I would get failing grades a lot of the time because of the way that school's set up. Anyways, I just hear that and my brain does not compute. Anyways, do I say I don't say a boot. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I don't say a boot. I think. Yeah, my requirements for my daughter in school are this. She needs to go to school and have a good time. She can't be rubbing in other people's faces what she does versus what they do. She can't be disruptive in the classroom. She has to try her best and she has to be true to herself, and that's it. I don't speak French. I can read French and get a little bit along, but I do not speak French. My daughter does, though. She was in French immersion and is still in French immersion, has been since kindergarten. And when I put her in French the first time, she came back from kindergarten and she said, Mommy, they're not speaking English there. And I said, I know, yeah, no, that's school. That's what school is. They don't speak English at school. That's what you got to go to school for. You got to learn French. And it was like 6 months before she came home and she's like, there is an English class at school. I was like, oh, funny that. No, yeah, you're in French. So, yeah, even though we are on the west coast of Canada and nobody in the world, like in our periphery, speak French, I wanted her to have the brain elasticity development in her youth from kindergarten on. So, and again, I don't really care what kids learn in school. It's about the ability to learn and the ability to learn how they learn that's important. It's not what they're actually being taught in school. So that's, I find very, very different. Let's go. Let's continue.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So, Mom, this is my decision regarding your daughter, Kristen. It seems like, Kristen, we have a bigger problem here, that you're just not following your mom's rules. You're not going to accept her supervision. And I'm just not going to release you back to her, especially when you're involved in criminal activity. So, Kristen, I'm going to go ahead and detain you, right? And I'm going to go ahead and we'll see you at the 10-day hearing and decide whether or not you can behave. I need you to understand, if your mom says no cell phone, then it's no cell phone. Those are her rules. Once you turn 18, you move out, you can make your own rules. But until then, she's the one paying the bills. She's the one that's providing for you and protecting you. And so you have to accept her supervision. If you do not get to level 1 outstanding here at Kimbo, you will not be let go. I'm just going to let you know that now. Show me that you can follow the rules, then I'm going to give you a chance to go home and show me that you can follow your mom's rules. But unless you do it here, I'm not going to give you that chance. All right? Thank you, Kristen. Jeremiah Colon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes, ma'am. He's detained and I'm sure the probation.
All right, Mr. Colon, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. So you ran away from school while in placement at Camp Worth, and you were picked up in Wichita Falls, and there's a runaway report. And so was the placement, let's see, Ms. Rojas?
The placement was through CPS.
Okay, that's what my question was going to be, is
Yes.
how the placement got there. All right. Well, so Jeremiah, 2 things. 1, you ran away, so that makes me worried that you're not going to show up for court if I let you go. And 2nd, you're level 3, so you know if you're level 3, I'm not going to let you go. So I'm going to detain you. Thank you, Jeremiah. Michael Cortez.
He's coming, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. All right, Mr. Cortez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adler has been appointed as your attorney. I think I saw him. Mr. Adler, are you here?
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. So, Mr. Cortez, you're now 17 years old. And let's see, January 20, well, let's go backwards. In December 15 of last year, Arlington Police was trying to question you about an aggravated robbery and a shooting that sent you to the hospital and you were in ICU. So the report said you and somebody else were involved in a shootout, and the other victim says you're the one that shot him. 2 weeks later, you were referred for aggravated robbery on something that happened on December 5th. Report said the victim picked up you and somebody else to hang out and smoke weed, found a place to park. Evidently, you were sitting in the back seat, pulled out a handgun, and told the victim to get out of his car, then jumped in the driver's seat and fled with the vehicle. And then January 19th, or January 12th, there's some handguns stolen. And on January 19th, you were picked up for criminal trespass and carrying a weapon, and the weapon that you were picked up with matched the one stolen on January 12th. And so, yeah, Michael, at this point, I think you're in absolute danger to the community and to yourself if I was to let you go. Do we have a parent here for Mr. Cortez?
I saw the mom in the online, Your Honor.
Online?
Yeah. Anna Cortez, I think that's the one.
Anna Cortez, are you here? Anna Cortez. Yeah, her camera's not even on. So no parents here. All right, now Mr. Cortez, you are 17 years old. You understand the deal that I have. If your behavior level drops, I can house you downtown. I need you to be a good example for the kids here. I also need you to be level 1-0 to give your attorney the chance to argue your case and to help you out in your situation. If your behavior level drops, then that just makes it harder for him to get you a good outcome in your case. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and detain you, but please, I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding. Please keep it up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Kevin Garcia.
Your Honor, I'm covering for Mr. Dotson on this case.
Oh, no, I'm here, Case.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
was in Judge Terry's court. I'm here.
So, do we have a parent here for Mr. Garcia?
No, Your Honor, I gave her the link. She has, I don't see her on the screen.
What happens?
Miss Maria.
Mr. Garcia, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. So I'm deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here. All right, so back in October, turn yourself in for an electronic monitor violation on a tamper. And then turn yourself voluntarily. All right, well, yeah, you're here for a misdemeanor offense, but you understand that if you're not level 1 outstanding, I'm not going to let you go. And currently you're level 3. So you haven't figured it out, and wow, you've been here for almost 5 months. You're limiting your options. You're giving your attorney less and less to work with on your case to figure out how to help you. So if it's level 1 outstanding, we'll have a different conversation. But as long as you're not level 1 outstanding, it's going to sound like the same thing over and over again. Thank you, Heaven. Wendy Rosas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
call me Dotson?
Heaven, be quiet. Go. You need to be level 1. It's not your rules, they're my rules. This is exactly the problem. This is why he can't get to level 1. It's his world and we just live in it. All right. We have Wendy here.
Yes. Good
morning.
All right, hello, Wendy. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Masick is your attorney. I don't think I've seen him yet. Mr.
Yep, right here.
There we are. Good morning, Mr. Masick.
Morning.
All right, so Wendy, let you know. Okay, so you've never been here before. You're 16 years old. See, yesterday, 4th PD brought you in, saying about 11 o'clock, they saw a Chrysler 300 going 73 and a 40. So their traffic stop, driver pulled over. When they walked up to the car, the driver fled. So they began pursuit about 1 mile down Mansfield Highway before hitting a car in Lisa's Chicken, then falling into a small ravine. So the driver fled on foot, and they were given description by witnesses: Hispanic female, purple shirt, blue jeans, found you in the field. You admitted you were a driver, apologized for running, and said you were scared, and you were actually already listed as a runaway.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Wendy, I'm going to let you know that this evading arrest with a motor vehicle is what would normally be a 3rd-degree felony offense. So you could be committed to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, which is prison for kids, because of this. Probably won't happen, but that is a possibility. Also let you know, if you were 17 when this happened, you'd be looking at up to 10 years in prison for this, right? So this is pretty serious. I just want to make sure you know that. So we had a parent here. Mom, are you here for Wendy?
Mom is present. She speaks Spanish, Your Honor.
Speak Spanish. All right. So, Mr. Nava, if you can ask her, why was she not in school yesterday at 11 o'clock?
Mamá, el juez quiere saber por qué no estaba en la escuela Wendy anoche.
Wendy no está en la escuela.
Your Honor, Wendy's not in school, and I did speak with Mom beforehand, and she said that she has not been attending school this whole school year.
Okay. How long has she been a runaway?
Mamá, ¿cuándo ha estado en runaway? Desde que fue de la casa. ¿Cuánto tiempo ha estado runaway, Wendy?
Wendy estuvo fuera de la casa, entonces no está en la escuela en este tiempo. Y
¿Pero cuándo fue el primer día que se fue de la casa?
no recuerdo, en septiembre. No, en agosto.
She said she started runaway in August, but I think she's misunderstanding the question about this current runaway.
So she doesn't know how this current runaway. Does she know how long she was gone?
Esta vez que el runaway reporte que tiene ahorita, ¿cuánto tiempo ha estado fuera de la casa?
Se fue en agosto y regresó en enero.
She said she left in August, she returned in January, and she did tell me she's a frequent runner.
So okay, I'm gonna make this simple. When was the last time Wendy spent the night at home?
Mamá, ¿cuándo fue la última vez que Wendy se quedó en la casa?
Antier.
The day before yesterday.
Amaneció ayer, pues. Ayer se fue de la casa, en la mañana.
And yesterday morning she left the house.
At this point, Wendy, I don't think your mom's providing you adequate supervision. I'm going to detain you because I think you're just going to run away. You're coming and going as you want. Mr. Nava, do we know whose car this was?
Your Honor, I did ask Mom, and Mom told me that it is Wendy's car. A friend sold it to her, and Wendy is making payments. Wendy does have a job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Wendy, you probably don't have a job for very much longer. All right. But I'm going to go and detain you because you're just not going to do what you're supposed to do. You're not going to follow your mom's rules. All right. Alexandra Sellers Black.
What's this room? This one? Gracias. Sí, que la habla. Fue detenida la niña.
Mr. Nava, are you still there? Who's the supervisor for Nava? I have a quick question.
This is Daniel. I'm here.
All right, Daniel. We did a constant notification for the previous child, right, Wendy?
Yes.
Or her status check.
No, I think she's a resident, Judge.
Okay. Well, she's a resident or citizen?
Resident. I'm sorry, citizen.
Citizen. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. All right, Alexandra. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. So the law says when a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. Have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Ms. McGonigal as your attorney. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so Alexandra, you are 15 years old. You were here back in December as a runaway. And so now, yesterday, North Richland Hills police brought you in. They went to your home about 7 o'clock for a domestic. Mom said she found you and your brother smoking vape pens. Got her upset, so she confiscated the pens and destroyed them. Then she spanked you, which upset you, and then you assaulted her by hitting her in the mouth with a fist. Officers said that Mom had a busted lid. And you said that you reported that you were in the shower when Mom went in, began arguing with her about the vape pens. And you said it was more of a fight than an assault, and that Mom choked you, and that you would like to kill her if possible. So, all right, Alexander, I'm gonna let you know right now, as a child of the parent, you cannot get into a fight with your parents. It doesn't work that way. The parents have the right to physically discipline you. That is the law. Depending on whether it's appropriate or not, that's a different law. But you cannot strike your parents back. All right, and so, all right, so why didn't we give her a UA?
Your Honor, she was UA'd. It didn't come through until about 10:20. She was negative.
She was negative. Okay. So it looks like just vape pens for tobacco. All right. Well, Alexander, look, there's more to the story than I can see right now. Okay. But I don't know what it is. That's something for your attorney to work with. Do we have a parent here?
Your Honor, we do not. I spoke with Mom on the phone. She was gonna come in. She has not made it here yet.
All right. Well, Alexander, I'm gonna let you know now. I'm not gonna let a 15-year-old girl out on the street on her own to figure out how to get home. So at this point, if I don't have a parent here, I can't release you, or I can. I'm not going to release you. All right. We're gonna try and get in touch with your mom. Let's figure out what's going on and see if there's a safe way to return you to home. But you have to understand that at this point, I'm watching your behavior level. If you're not at level 1 outstanding, you're going to stay here no matter how much your mom wants you home. So you have to get to and keep level 1 outstanding in your behavior level. Then we'll figure out if it's a safe environment to let you go home to mom or not. Okay?
Your Honor, I did speak with Mother about her wishes. Mother does not feel safe with her returning at home at this time. This isn't the first incident. This is just the first incident that's come to us.
Okay.
Mom has stated she's pretty desperate at this time for services and help.
That's fair enough. And Alexandria, whatever conflict you've had in the past with your mother has led to this point. So if you've burned some bridges or destroyed that relationship with your mom, it's really up to you to start rebuilding that relationship with her to get her to the point where she is willing to accept you back. Okay? All right. Thank you, Alexandra. Aldo Calvillo. All right, Mr. Calvillo, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you, you will see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adler has been appointed as your attorney. So, Aldo, you are 15 years old. You've been here almost 60 days now. You've never been here before. This case. So Fort Worth PD brought you in back in November. You're dispatched to domestic. Oh, this is the one where you want to go to Starbucks. Your brother would not stop there, so you started punching him in the face and cut him with a punch. And then after the vehicle stopped, you both fought, then two stopped fighting, and then said you're going to shank him. When you got home, you pulled out a knife. And so that's what the police were called. So we let you go after a while, and you were to be released on electronic monitor and a drug patch. A month later, we collected drug patch results, and you were positive for methamphetamines. So we issued a warrant for you. And next drug patch that you had tested positive for methamphetamines and marijuana. So right now, are we... So, Ms. Aguirre, are we still doing a placement search?
I'm covering that, Judge.
Okay.
Let me check her notes.
Okay.
Judge, from what I can see, it seems that Miss Aguirre did complete the application for the placement and it's been forwarded to her supervisor. So I'm under the impression that that placement has been found.
Good.
And I'm just I'm going by her notes, Judge.
Sure. No, I understand. All right, Mr. Cavillo, the methamphetamine use is what's got me the most worried. All right. And so marijuana is different, but when you're using hard street drugs, there's all kinds of bad things that go along with that, especially when you're 15 years old. So that gives me a lot of concern. I feel like if I was to let you go, you would go back to continue to use methamphetamine, and then you would be a danger to yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go and detain you, but I hope you understand this is just a result of your decisions in the past to use methamphetamine. All right, thank you, Mr. Cavillo. J. Lee West. All right, Mr. West, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hamrick has been appointed as your attorney. All right, so Jaylee, let's see, you are 14 years old, and you were here in December, just a couple months ago, for a family violence case. And then now, let's see where we're at. Back in February, you were referred for an ag assault deadly weapon, went to domestic, and you were released from Mesa Springs, went to apartment. You went to leave the apartment, grandma said no, so you tried to break out, and then ended up allegedly slapping your brother, put grandma in a headlock, struck in the head with a flashlight or baton, and so I guess eventually we let you go. And then now, yesterday, Arlington PD brought you on a warrant that we signed because you left home without permission and not having a timeout on your EM. I think so I'm going to ask Ms. Guerrero, is Ms. Jones the grandmother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So she told Jaylee that she did not have the timeout to leave, but Jaylee said she had to go to the park, so she left.
Correct.
I'm sorry, correct, okay. So the day before, so you agreed to give Jaylee a timeout on Monday through Friday from 2 to 4:30, since you were anxious on being locked down at home. And we told grandmother that she can only go out under supervision. All right. So the issue here right now is, looks like Jaylee's just balancing mental health issues, lockdown, coronavirus, cabin fever, all these things.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So then my next question is, okay, so how long does she leave the home for?
She wasn't gone long, Judge, because immediately when she left, Grandma did call the police to report that she had left and called me immediately.
Okay.
So I'm going to say less than an hour.
Okay. And the EM, where did it show her being at the park?
I know that earlier when I received an alert, it did show that she was at the park, sir.
Okay. All right. And I guess, Carlene, are you grandma?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I understand you're frustrated, and I remember our conversations we had in the past. So it looks to me right now that Jaylee, I mean, I know she has mental health considerations that I'm trying to balance everything with. It looks like Jaylee, even though the rules are the rules, that she was trying to do away something that's more constructive, right? I mean, do you agree with me on this one, or is there something that I'm missing?
No, I agree.
Okay. So you know your granddaughter better than anybody else. My question for you, Grandma, is really going to be: is Jaylee leaving? Is that an act of defiance against you and against me, or is this she's trying to balance and manage her mental health considerations against the situation that she's in?
I think it's both, but it's more towards defiance, because she was like, well, I'm going. And as I told her, no,
okay.
You didn't have time to go. And she just went.
All right.
And then, after they brought her home, before the warrant had been issued or Ms. Guerrero was in the process of getting that issued, then it escalated again with, I was supposed, she wanted me to let her out. She didn't want to be here. She wanted to run away. So I just called the police department and they just came and picked her up on that warrant.
You did great. I mean, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Ms. Guerrero, last time Jaylee was here, how long was she here before I released her?
She was here 6 days, sir.
I beg your pardon?
6 days.
6 days. Okay. So, Jaylee, at this point, what I'm going to do, because you did not cut off your monitor, but there is a consequence to your decision. That's just what life is. Your grandmother, she doesn't pay her rent or her mortgage, there's a consequence to not paying that, right? So this is just part of life. At this point, what we're going to do is, since the last time you're here for 6 days, I'm going to expect you to get to level 1 outstanding and hold her for 6 days, okay? If you can do that, Grandma, I think we should give her another chance and just take kind of these progressive measures towards this, where eventually it just becomes painful enough that Jaylee does not want to do this, okay?
Okay.
Rules are rules, Jaylee. You have to follow the rules. If you don't, there's a consequence. But just so you understand, next time you do this, then we're going to have the same kind of conversation. I'll hold you. You have to prove it to me even longer, and then we'll give you another chance, all right? There's a certain point you're going to say you're tired of seeing me. Okay, Jaylee? You're probably tired already, but obviously you're not tired enough that it was worth it to walk out the house. But one day you'll wake up and say, leaving the house is not worth seeing Judge Kim over. And that's just, I want you to get that point that you're tired of seeing me, okay? So get to level 1 outstanding, hold it for 6 days. Ms. Guerrero, we don't even have to have a detention hearing. Just bring it to me or Mary and we'll go ahead and sign that and release her on EM.
Thank you, sir.
Grandma, does this sound like a reasonable step at this point?
Yes, sir. And hopefully by the time that 6 days is up, we'll get an answer from Cedar Crest.
It's possible. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Jenks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaylee. Make good decisions. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. At this point, I'm going to turn the docket over to Judge Terry, and I'll return for the under 14-year-old at the end. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. All right. Byron Beasley.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Adeniji, and he is here on the Zoom screen with you. Let's see. This is the 7-Eleven robbery with a group of other kids that happened.
Robbery, Judge.
Pardon?
Alleged robbery.
Well, there's previously been probable cause to find that an offense was committed and that he was the one who committed it. So this is the offense where there's been probable cause found, okay? 7-Eleven, right at the beginning of the snowstorm, what sticks out in my head to these guys is that they didn't even care that they knew the police were being called because of their behavior at 7-Eleven. They had the nerve to come back allegedly citing the weather that would take the police a long time to get there. So they went back and took more stuff after they had already beat up on the clerks and said that they would kill them and the cops. So Mr. Beasley, either it took until February 28th to get to level 1 outstanding, or you had a dip down.
Your Honor, he had a dip down.
What happened?
Talking times 6.
In one day?
It was all in one period. It says got an A, talking times 6, and then the other write-ups I have are over playful, talking in line.
Okay, when did that happen?
Those were on the 24th.
Those were on the 24th. So he knew when he was brought in on the 15th what the rules were, level 1 outstanding. Does that. Has been back level 1 outstanding for less time than he stayed on level 1 outstanding to begin with. You know, I just think that people should be able to go to work at 7-Eleven if they want and feel safe and comfortable and not have to worry about this kind of behavior, and his behavior fluctuating the way it has here tells me he's not ready to be released yet. So Mr. Beasley, as soon as you can show the court that you can stay level 1 outstanding for an extended period of time and follow the rules, we'll consider your release. But now I'm detaining you.
Judge, what's the definition of a reasonable period? Are we talking about 4 days on level 1 outstanding?
Did I say reasonable? I meant just a consistent period of time. I'm not making any deals with them. You know, if I make a deal, they think Judge Terry's letting them out, and then they can go out and then start acting a fool again. It's just enough time for we to feel comfortable. You know, if I can tell you this, Mr. Antonucci, when he got here and got to level 1 outstanding, if he got there, you know, and only stayed, you know, 4 or 5 days or so, and then he's acting a fool, I have zero confidence that he won't do that if he was released.
I just want to understand, Judge, that the judge is saying you will consider when he has done a reasonable time satisfactory to the court, not that he will be released.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Yes.
Your Honor, could I add one thing?
Yes, Mr. Paul.
At the first detention hearing, the mother was present. I have since found out that the client resides with the grandmother.
Yes, I saw that.
Goes to school. So grandmother is present today. She has come up with a structured plan just for you to.
I read that, and I'm glad, because that'll also be considered. I just don't think his behavior is ready for that structured plan.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Alexander Hernandez.
He'll be right there. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, Mr. Masick.
Hi. I don't know if I see Miss Lopez.
Right here.
Oh, there you are. Thanks.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Masick, is here. Is there a parent or guardian here for him?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. It's M. Santos. She's online.
Oh, I see her there. Hi. Okay. All right. And I see this is another one where mom says that he'll start living by the, you know, participating with the services and doing community service and begin everything he's supposed to be doing because he's on probation. But it's my understanding he cut off his monitor back in November and he was just now picked up in February.
Yes, Your Honor. He cut it off a month after being placed on probation, and he turned himself in February. We had initially started with the community service and his counseling. So if he was to be released, we were ready to re-engage in that and get him started. Hopefully.
When did he initially engage in those services?
Right after he got out, Your Honor, in the beginning of November, we made contact with him on the initial counseling and the community service, and then he cut it off. So he has not had a chance to work in the community, basically.
Oh, he's had a chance. He chose not to.
Correct.
He chose not to for 2.5 months. Pardon?
But there is, at this time, there's no other pleadings on him right now. I don't think there's been a motion.
Yeah, that's there's no other new offense. I understand that. Did test positive for marijuana when he came in. On the 13th. Did it take him till the 22nd to get to level 1 outstanding?
That's my understanding, Your Honor. He's on level 1 since the 22nd. He came in on the 13th.
So did he go home and then mom brought him in or what?
No, he turned himself in, Your Honor.
Oh. You know what? I'm going to give Mr. Hernandez a chance. I'm going to release him on an EM again. I don't know why. I don't know why we're going to pay for another EM. Did we get the EM back?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right. And I do want a progress report in 10 days.
Yes,
See how
ma'am.
he's doing.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I promise you,
Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez, if you play games with this again and think that you're going to make the rules and do as you please while you're on probation, things will be different the next time you come back, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I don't have any more EM orders, so they have to bring me one. Okay, Cameron Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jackson, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purposes to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is Mr. Shaw, and I thought I saw him here. Hi, Mr. Shaw. And I don't have a report.
Grandma, right here, right here. Thank you.
Is Mr. Lewis on?
You're welcome to sit up here if you like.
Does anyone have a detention hearing report for him that they can forward me?
What's the child's name, Judge? I might be able to help you.
Cameron Jackson.
Let me see if I can help you with that.
Cameron, what level are you on?
Well,
You're on level 1 outstanding?
yes, ma'am.
How long have you been on level 1 outstanding?
11 days.
11 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a parent or guardian here for him?
I hate her so much. I'm so sorry. I can't even hold it in. I really don't like Judge Terry. I'm so sorry, Judge Terry. You still have an open invitation to come and hang out in my kitchen and explain yourself, but I'm gonna have some questions for you. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe it's because she's female and it just makes me triggers me or whatever, but oh my God, much more riled up by just her, and she's not even doing anything. It's just her voice and her tone. It's like, are you on level 1 out? Are you? How many days? Sorry. Sorry. I'm a little crazy. But this is the reality. Like, I don't think some of this stuff helps these kids. And I don't think the amount of money that is on this screen every 3 days being wasted could really be repurposed and redirected in a different manner. But instead, let's have this conversation, you know?
Oh, is that mom?
Judge, that's the grandmother.
Grandma, okay. Mr. Shaw, what's his new offense?
Judge, let me see here. I think it's assault on a security officer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
He's on probation for, I think, a theft.
Judge?
Yes.
Cameron Jackson is not assigned to Mr. Lewis.
Oh, I misread it. It's Miss Young?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Can someone forward me a detention hearing report?
Has it not been forwarded to you?
I don't have it.
Let me see what I can do.
I'm just my own little pet peeve. Do you know how much that report probably cost to make to begin with? Just the amount of man hours? Ugh.
Judge, let me just kind of add this while we're waiting on that, is that I think part of the situation that we find ourselves in with regard to Cameron was that I was originally pointed on this case when he picked it up like last May or June, and I was talking to his mom, and then his mom was telling me that she was fixing to move to either Lafayette or Alexandria, Louisiana, and she was taking Cameron with her. And so I talked to her a few times on the phone, and then I think Miss Young had the same experience, and then all of a sudden, I know she quit returning phone calls. And then it's my understanding that here recently that Miss Young's been in touch with him because he moved back to Texas, back to the Tarrant County area, and been living with the grandma. And I didn't know that, but somehow apparently she had discovered that. And so he'd sort of been missing in action for several months.
Okay, but now grandma's got him.
Right.
These hands. I have some funny stories about that, and I've seen some pretty big.
Just FYI, I just reset the reports again. I'm hopeful that someone.
Okay, am I on it? Because if I'm not on it, I'm not going to get it right now, and everybody's waiting.
Let me see.
Someone can just email it to me.
Okay.
What is going on here, Judge Terry? Again, the cost of this.
All right, if you can just tell me what I need to know on the offense report, Ms. Young.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. Cameron was re-referred to the department back on 5/25 for this year after a directive been issued by the court. And once that directive was issued, it was sent out actually by Judge Porter after.
Oh, this is the one they just finally found a few weeks ago, right?
Yes, that's right.
Picked him up at a house in Mansfield.
219. That's correct.
Yeah, I recall this now. And so
he had been on. I'm sorry.
Has he been on level 1 outstanding as soon as he could get there?
Yes. Yes,
All right.
he's been on level 1 outstanding since he's been with us.
Is he enrolled in school here?
Yes, since he's been inside of the juvenile detention center.
Well, is he enrolled in school here back in Texas?
His grandmother, to my understanding, she said that she tried to make some provisions to put him in school once she came about him. But he's actually been on abscond status for approximately 9 months.
Okay, how long has he been staying with grandma?
It's been off and on throughout that 9-month period.
Well, how long the most recently has he been staying with grandma?
Grandmother would be the one to have to answer to that.
So grandma, when did he ever move out of Texas?
Yes.
Okay, how long has he been staying with you?
Basically 6 or 7 months. About 6 or 7 months.
Basically, but I'm being told that he's running off and then coming back and going off and coming back.
No, the last time when he went back to where his mother was and on the way back, I think he was in a car accident. So he been with me at least about 5 months straight. So he been staying with me.
So he's been living with you, but he has not been enrolled in school this whole school year?
He's in academy school. He is enrolled in school.
What school is he enrolled in?
He is a what's the name of it? It's academy school. It's on 360 and Mayfield.
Winfrey Academy?
Yes, Winfrey. He's in Winfrey. But I had to call Winfrey and have them to they said they had to rob him, and when he get out that he being retained for the days won't count against him, where they can, send him to court for not being in school. And so when he get back out. I'm to bring him back in there to arrest him back in. But he in there.
So he's been gone, absconded since last year, but he's only been with you for a month. Is that what you're saying, ma'am?
Oh, he been with me for a month, more than a month, but I couldn't do nothing to get him in school because I did not have. I wasn't his legal.
I understand.
His grandmother.
What I want to know is how long he has been living with you, ma'am.
About 6 months. Ever since his accident. June, July, August, when do you have the accident?
Is he set anytime soon for that, Ms. Young?
Yes, Judge. We received notice on yesterday that he's set on 3/12 at 9:30.
Okay. There's too much up in the air right now. I don't know what's really going on with him. I'm not comfortable releasing him. I don't know that he's got suitable supervision at home.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna keep him here detained. I'm not feeling right about releasing him at this time. And on the 12th, we should have some more information to determine what we should do with him for next steps. So for now, I'm going to order him to be detained.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I didn't get to tell him, Ms. Young and Mr. Shaw, please encourage him to stay on level 1 outstanding. Thank you. All right, Malachi Lester.
Your Honor, I'm covering this one for Mr. Lewis.
Oh, yeah, I see Ms. Sherman here.
Mr. Lewis.
Oh, Ms. Turner Hill. Okay, there you go.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. And then the parents are on Zoom as well.
Okay, thank you. I see the Lesters there. All right, why did he just get to level 1 outstanding today? Well, actually, first of all, Malachi, I have to let you know this is obviously your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose is to determine whether I should release you back home or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Sherman, is here. If you could please stop twirling your hair and pretend that you are here present and paying attention, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, why is he just now level 1 outstanding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. Let's see. It looks like yesterday he lost points and he was dropped level 1 acceptable. And just looking at his record, since for the last month, he's gone back and forth from level 1 outstanding to level 1 acceptable.
Okay. Nothing. How long does he stay on level 1 outstanding?
Looks like the longest was he did from this February 6th to February 17th, and then he did February 19th till March the 2nd.
Okay.
And then of course this time, and I believe on the last page is some updated information about CPS.
Okay. Is anyone from CPS here?
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Oh, hi. Great. Thank you. Okay, so psychological evaluation has done. And well, the ice storm's over. So what are the placement options that CPS has?
So we have identified a placement option. It is in Bryan, Texas, and it will have an opening within a week or so. But I was made aware by the probation officer that he has a hearing on the 18th that he has to be back for physically in person. So OCOK is willing to work with that and complete his placement after his 18th hearing.
Well, I mean, that's not really up to them. I could release them to them and they would be ordered to return him back for his hearing. Let's see. I'm sorry, you said it's on the 18th?
That's what I was informed, to see as an in-person hearing on the 18th, he has to be here for.
That's correct, Your Honor. It's at 1:30 on the 18th.
And his placement will be ready within this week, within the week?
The placement could be ready around the 18th. Their email said a couple of weeks, but if one bed
I heard you say a week, so.
I'm sorry, in a couple weeks, and if one becomes available sooner, that they would reach out to the OCOK worker who is looking for the placement. But they have said that they would accept him. He just wouldn't have an opening until roughly 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you. So why don't we do this? I need you, Ms. Bailey, to send that information of the placement to Mr. Lewis.
Okay.
And Ms. Turner-Hill, you said you're covering this for Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
If you could let Mr. Lewis know that, and I would like him to follow up and find out exactly when the placement will be ready.
Yes,
and then to notify the court as soon as it's ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does he have medication he's supposed to be on or something, or what's going on? Yes, no, anybody?
He was issued medication from the psychiatrist, but he quit taking it a long time ago and won't take it.
Okay, so he also needs a psychiatric evaluation.
I believe that he did that, man.
Well, I was told they did a psychological evaluation.
Oh, okay. It's not a misunderstanding.
So he needs to see the psychiatrist.
Yes, before to placement.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, while he's in detention, you're asking for a psychiatric evaluation?
Well, if we can get him one that quickly, otherwise CPS is going to have to do it. They're child now. For now. All right, so I do have to keep you detained, Malachi, and hopefully we'll get you out of here and in a place that can treat you pretty soon, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You're welcome. Oh, no. All right, Amanda Modisette.
Yes, Your Honor.
Amanda, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Ms. Barrows, and she is here on Zoom with us today. Oh, looks like you've been here for a few weeks. You've been level 1 outstanding. As soon as you could get there, you're here on a violation. Kim issued a DTA for you. Apparently you threatened to kill your guardian and CPS worker. Said that you had a gun. No weapon was discovered. Not taking your medication. Volatile at home and school. You are 9 weeks pregnant. Let's see. CPS has someone from CPS here on this one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, hi. Let's see. All right, is CPS wanting to take her back to placement or ready to?
No, Your Honor, we do not have a placement for her at this point. We've been looking for the last 2 weeks and we cannot find anyone that will secure a placement for her.
Why is that?
Because the main barrier is her pregnancy and also her assaultive behaviors and her not taking.
Oh, they have places for pregnant girls.
In San Antonio, I believe, Judge Terry.
Do you know if they've checked on that, Ms. Barrows?
I don't believe they've checked with. There is. I think we've had a case where she was in San Antonio, so I didn't know if maybe that was an option, but I don't think that's been checked on.
Yeah, I think that rings a bell. Psychoval was, okay, it was due back on the 8th. I mean, her behavior level is enough to release her. here according to our standards. It's not doing her any good sitting here pregnant in detention.
No, Your Honor, I understand. However, she will be going back with me to a child watch house because we have no placement for her. She will be in the house with 4 other girls in the same situation. At her previous placement, she had a 2-to-1 supervision. At this place, it's going to be two kids per 2 adults, which is not appropriate supervision for Amanda. I'm very fearful for what she might do to the other girls in the house because they will have social media and we have cut off her social media. And she becomes very angry about that.
Well, Amanda, do you want to stay here or do you want to go there and follow the rules?
I would like to be released.
Because I'm going to have a hard time releasing you to a place where there are other pregnant girls, especially with your assaultive history. I'm concerned for you and your baby, but I have to be concerned about the safety of everybody else around you too.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you here detained, and by the next detention hearing, I want OCOK to have checked thoroughly and check out. Maybe Ms. Barrows, you can look that place up and give it to them.
Okay.
And figure that out. She needs to get out of here into a place where she's getting what she needs. But I don't want to send her to a place where she's in close, but it's not secure, basically, where she's a danger to other pregnant girls. So, all right. So I'm gonna keep you here detained for now. We'll try to find you a place. Okay, Amanda? Stay on level 1 outstanding, please, or you're gonna really hurt your chances of being able to get out of here. Okay? You're just gonna hurt your chances for a proper placement if you don't stay on level 1 outstanding. All right?
Okay.
Because if you stay on level 1 outstanding, then I can just say, you guys need to take her. Okay? So do that. Thank you. Okay, Faith Moore.
It's already ready.
Is there a parent or guardian here for Faith?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I did not put my name
okay.
on there. It's Jennifer. Okay.
All right.
Jennifer Dotson Moore.
All right, thank you. Faith, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purposes to determine whether I can release you back to mom or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to your attorney. Your attorney is Ms. Herrick, and she's here on Zoom. And hello. Let's see. Why was she just level 1 outstanding as of yesterday?
She dropped down to level 1A. For minor things, just looking outside of her room, not having her hands where they were supposed to be. Just
okay.
Directions.
Okay, this is the one where she's at Fort Worth Behavioral Health and she assaulted a boy. Oh, is Teen Challenge willing to accept her?
From what I heard from mom, they still have not made a decision as far as accepting her or not.
If I can speak, I can answer that.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. We were only 2 to 3 days to her intake date at Teen Challenge Oklahoma when this occurred. And after this occurred, they said that they were not equipped to take her at that particular Teen Challenge. There are other Teen Challenges that I'm pursuing now. One is in Austin, Texas, and they have encouraged me to apply, which I've started the application process. It's not a quick application process, and so there's no yes or no from them yet. They were made aware of the situation, though, so they didn't decline her application. I wasn't able to explain anything to Oklahoma either. So there's a slim chance very slim, that would still be open.
Is she on medication?
She was on medication for behavioral. They did not indicate to your facility that she was. They left her with nothing. At
So
this
she's not on
point,
medication right now.
she is not. She has
She's
been
supposed to
very.
be, though.
I'm sorry.
She's supposed to be, but she's not getting it right now.
They prescribed it to her. Teen Challenge wanted her to titrate off of it. She has been much better, in my opinion, on the phone. She's been much more positive. At this point, she's already titrated off of it. I'm not for putting her back on it. They were so adamant to keep her on it, yet when they released her to you, they said
they
nothing. It was pretty crummy, really.
Well, and she hasn't had any, Mr. Nava, she hasn't had any assaultive behaviors back here.
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna give mom the chance to continue working with her at home. So if you're ready, mom, for this, I'm gonna let you be mom and take over.
Can we talk right here with you, Judge?
What do you want to talk? Sorry, what do you want to talk about? Jennifer.
She just needs to agree to the rules of our household.
Okay. Well, I mean, that Faith, that goes without saying. You're level 1 outstanding here. It's expected that you're going to behave the same way at home, because leaving here doesn't resolve your assault case you have going on. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
It just means you can be at home with mom or wherever mom tells you to go while this case is pending. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But you are expected to maintain level 1 outstanding behavior with mom.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
We will just bring you back in here until mom or someone can find a suitable placement for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care what someone says or what you overhear someone saying. And, you know,
that's right.
If that was a boy who did that to you while you're at behavioral health, I'd be doing, he'd probably still be here, just like you, right? The fact that you're a girl hitting a boy doesn't make it okay.
Yes.
Behavioral problems or not, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to give mom a chance to do that, and you're going to stand level 1 outstanding with mom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And normally, I would, for this kind of behavior, I would typically have someone stay here a little bit longer on level 1 outstanding. But I do believe that mom, you have a great mom who is trying to use whatever resources she has to get you the help that you need. And I'm going to let her be the parent and let her make those choices for you.
Yes,
if you don't give her a choice anymore, it'll be different next time, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's the thing. It'll take me 4 hours to get there, okay? I'm coming from Lufkin in Angelina County. I'm on my way. All right. Thank you, Judge.
Christopher
Love you,
Small.
Faith. Thanks, attorney.
Your Honor, I'm covering this one too for Mr. Lewis. His mom is on Zoom, Miss Tiffany Small.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Where is Mr. Small? Hi, Mr. Small. I'm Cynthia. I'm Judge Cynthia Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if you should be detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to your attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Daniel.
I'm here.
He's here today. Let's see. Oh, he was been level 1 outstanding as soon as he could be. Let's see.
I think it's been on for 8 days, Your Honor.
He has been pretty much the whole time. Let's see.
Yes.
Except for March 19th, mom's a victim. She's concerned about her own safety. Is that right, Mom?
Yes, ma'am.
He's having an attitude with you during his calls to you home?
Attitude. It's not the first assault charge that he has. He has 2 that I'm waiting to see to go to.
Yeah, guys, please take a moment. Mayor just posted a link in the chat for Lockificent. I don't know how to say it properly. Lockificent's Lair. She's really close to 1,000 subs right now, you guys. Let's get that number up higher. I know there's like 48 of you in the chat. I don't know if you're already subbed or not, but let's go and do that and make her have just as many as we can. It is so special when you realize how many people care and are out there to be, and it's free, like to sub to somebody. So Mayor, pop that one back in the chat again. Please, guys, go check her out. It is such a neighborhood expression of care for all of us to be caring and supportive of all the channels, all the people that wants to do this. This is my whole point. I never would have been here if when I had 75 subs, Phil didn't, from time served, didn't say, hey, keep going, you're doing great. Like, so, and then all of you guys. So I really want to pass that good vibes back on. There's so much room on YouTube and so much court that I don't worry one little bit about another court channel. I'm happy to bring them into the fold. That's really the way that I think we should look at things. So thanks, guys. Make sure you sub to her channel. Let's get her over 1,000 soon. And like Mayor said, she's battling cancer. She has 2 small children. I mean, this is, if you can put your free likes anywhere or free subscribes anywhere, please do for that tonight. That'll make us all feel good. Yeah, I know you're doing that trial, and I can't get into that trial, Mayor. I don't know why, but she is covering the Letitia trial. Anyways, did I say a boot? I love you guys so much. Let's finish this. We'll do one more after this because I love you all so much.
Court for. If he don't get his way, he just goes left. He has a total of 10 runaways. So he's very, very defiant.
Have any of that here?
Yeah.
Does he have a history with this department, is what you're saying, or somewhere else?
They never took him. They never. The time he's been taken in, but he has a total of 10 runaways.
When's the most recent?
Last year, in February, and he was gone for from Friday until Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, from Friday. Yeah, from Friday after school till Sunday at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh. Was he drug tested? He wasn't drug tested when he came in? No, he wouldn't be because he was. Why don't we give him a nail test?
Okay.
I'm concerned too. I see that you threw a bowl at his sister and missed.
Mm-hmm.
She was
no, he threw the bowl at me. No,
oh, really?
It was.
Oh, sister reports. I'm sorry. Yeah. At her. It's unclear. Sister reports that he threw a bowl at her, so I assumed it was sister. So what you're saying, Mom, is you're not confident that he's ready to come home, even though his behavior's been good here, right?
No, ma'am, because he will do good and then turn around and do this again.
I would normally tell Mom, Christopher, she's gonna have to deal with it and take you home because your behavior's been so good here. But based on what she's telling me, you have a longer pattern of not good behavior and running off and being gone the weekend at 14 years old tells me that you are up to no good. A 14-year-old that can just be out days at a time, unsupervised. That's not good. So I am going. Your court date is coming up soon. Go ahead, Mr. Daniel.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but would you consider releasing him on a monitor? I have talked to Christopher this morning, and we've talked about some different ways to deal with his anger, such as if I can finish, such as walking away from the situation, going back to his room, or counting to 10 and then just trying to calm down. He has been on one outstanding for 8 days, which pretty good. I think he deserves to go home. I understand his mother's concerns, but if he's 10 days from now or so when we go to court, I mean, are those concerns going to be any different then?
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Daniel. It is really good that he's been on level 1 for this period of time. The concerns will be different if he remains on level 1. That's going to help him. I'm not confident that, I think he may be ready to go home. I don't think he's ready to stay home. Okay. I think he's done what he has to do to be considered going home. And I was considering an EM, but just what he does to Mom and what she's saying has happened several times before is more consistent with the fact that he needs a little bit more time here. to understand how serious this is, so he can really get right in his head that he can't be a danger to his family if he were to be released home. So I'm going to keep you here detained. I encourage you to stay on level 1, Mr. Small.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, did you still want the nail bed test for Chris?
Yes, please. Need to get an idea what he's doing when he's running off like that. So, all right, do not bring the next child in yet. It is Kelton Page, but do not bring her in pursuant to Texas Family Code 54.08C. If a child's under the age of 14 at the time of the hearing, the court shall close the hearing to the public unless the court can find that it's in the best interest of the child or best interest of the public by open the hearing to the public. But court cannot make a finding as to that at this time, and so we're going to turn off the live stream to YouTube. It'll be about a 20-second burn off before we can begin.
So, Judge, am I done?
Night, Jonathan. Have a good night. Val, that's so funny. Oh, let's get Ginger going too, guys. Ginger only at 9:55. Mayor, can you grab that link and put that in there for Ginger's channel as well? I want everybody to be successful. Seriously, it's so much YouTube around. We can just help everybody. And it's so amazing. Sometimes you go to sleep and you wake up and you've got like more
things on YouTube, so the public has meaningful access to
like
public
more,
courtrooms.
Subs or like it's just a great feeling. It really is. So and that's something we can do for our friends here. So Ginger, absolutely, we're gonna get that in there. No, it's probably just me. We're gonna get this last episode going for tonight. And then, but no, I'm just saying we're having a sub train. Everyone's subbing to everybody's channel, and I like it.
Wrapping up Zoom hearings, but till the final change, we're still complying with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus, so we're not conducting in-person proceedings, but we're going forward with Zoom. To comply with the Texas Open Courts Act, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public has meaningful access to the public courtrooms. No portion of this hearing may be recorded or broadcast. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. People are still expected to be appropriately for court. So if you're not an officer of the court, you're expected to be with your camera on, centered. So Terry Stewart, could you please turn your camera on, please? Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and start. I think Deputy, you're there. Is Mr. Newton available? It's coming up. Terry Stewart, please turn your camera on.
I see you're starting.
All right, Terry Stewart, I'm going to go ahead and remove you. If you wish to observe, you can observe through YouTube.
My client's present, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Newton, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days on a warrant from the juvenile court. And so I'm reviewing the case, deciding whether to keep you here, release you if I keep you. You see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And Ms. Perkins is here as your attorney. So this, Mr. Newton, you've been here for quite a while now.
That's correct, Your Honor. We're set for pretrial on April 16th. And the ADA, Alex Haynes, has given me a new offer that I'm going to be taking to Mr. Newton.
Okay, good. And this is... Yeah, home invasion robbery with an AR-15 rifle ditched over at the TCC campus, and Mr. Newton found with a .223 cartridge in his pocket. And so previously found delinquent or unauthorized use of motor vehicle and burglary of a vehicle. And you're a documented crip gang member. And you still have restitution owed from a previous probation case. That's right. And I moved you back in December to downtown because of your behavior here at Kimbo. All right, so we have motions to pre-trial on April 19th. Ms. Perkins, it looks like the tide is kind of flowing as far as reopening the courts and jury trials. I think it's going to happen, like when it starts happening, it's going to happen real quick. So
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
So just, I guess, kind of be aware. Of course, I remember what it's like to practice law. So, I'll be fair, but I think Mr. Newton, we want to get him his day in court as soon as possible.
Yes, I think we all want to get it resolved.
Yes, especially, well, now it's too late for a minimum period of confinement on the offense. But I want to give him enough time. If he is adjudicated and committed, I want to make sure he has enough time to prove himself before we have the parole transfer hearing. So he'll be closer to the top of the list. All right. All right. So Mr. Newton, I'm going to go ahead and detain you just because of the seriousness of the offense and the danger to the public as well as to yourself. But hopefully with COVID, we're towards the end of this and you will get your day in court and have a jury trial in the near future. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Newton. All right. Sheriff, thank you very much for bringing this child to the hearing. You have a good weekend.
You too.
I believe that's my only one, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a great weekend, Tracy.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Carson Barrett, I believe this is out of custody. Laura Bazan, please turn your camera on. Oh, you're with CPS. I'm sorry. If you can turn your camera off if you're just here, if you're waiting. If you don't mind, next time you log into the website for Zoom, if you put CPS in front of your name, I won't interrupt you next time. Thank you. All right, so we're here for Mr. Barrett. I'm Judge Kim Carson. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to leave you in the community or to take you into custody. If I take you into custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. Mr. Daniel is your appointed attorney. All right, so let me go through this. You're 16 years old. You're currently on probation for a serious offense. You were in from 2018 and 2019. We modified your probation. Or, I'm sorry, 2020 in November. We extended your probation, and then now you're unsuccessfully discharged from counseling. You were doing some outpatient counseling, and there was non-compliance. And your behavior in group sessions was unwelcoming, been disrespectful toward the therapist and other group members, and slow to complete assignments. And you began an intensive inpatient program about 18 months before referred to the outpatient program. Emily Carson keeps on engaging in risky behavior, not being truthful, and not taking responsibility for his actions. Let's see. So, Mr. Jones, specifically, why would we go from an inpatient program then to an outpatient? Isn't it usually the other way around?
He successfully completed the inpatient.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, but it looks like we have problems on whether it held or not, or whether it made a difference.
Correct. I also did a UA on him this morning. He tested negative for any.
Okay, thank you. All right, so are you Carson's mom?
Yes.
Are you Carson's mom?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just a couple questions, and I'm trying to be discreet here. So, just if you can only answer the questions. How many children do you have?
I have 3. I have a stepdaughter who's 18 and she lives with her mother. And then I have a 6-year-old daughter who lives in the house. And then I have Carson.
Okay. All right, Carson, at this point, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and detain you because conditions of probation, I'm very serious about them, especially in more serious cases, right? And you either follow the rules or you don't. It's a very black or white for me, right? And that being said, I'm doing this because I'm really tapping the brakes and pausing. It's a danger to the community issue, danger to others issue, and I want to be comfortable before I reassess things. Mr. Jones, if you don't mind, after detention hearings coming by, I'll have some more specific questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Right? And if mom wants to stick around as well, I may have questions for her. But as far as dealing with Carson right now, I feel like it's important we actually take him into detention for the time being so I can better assess the situation. Carson, this doesn't mean that I'm revoking your probation. It doesn't mean that I'm going to keep you here for very long. It just means I have to be extra careful about protecting the community. And so in doing so, certain cases, I just really slow down. Things like gun cases. Everyone knows that when a kid's caught with a gun, they always go into detention, have a duty to protect the community, right? So my best advice to you, Carson, is to get your behavior level up to 1 outstanding, because if you're not, your behavior level drops, you have a bad attitude, which it looks like you were in counseling, then you're gonna stay here for a while, okay? You have commitments and you have responsibilities. You have to keep up with those. You're almost 17, so I expect you to behave like a young adult rather than a kid, okay? All right, so Mr. Jones, hopefully I'll see you after hearing. Mom, if you'd like to stay, I probably have some questions for you as well. That would be helpful.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, next we have Robert Earl Lee.
Good morning, Your Honor. I request this hearing.
Your Honor, I'm covering this hearing today.
Okay. Mr. Lee, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making the decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you will see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have the right to an attorney. Ms. Hopkins is your attorney, and she has requested this hearing. So, Ms. Hopkins, for what purpose are we requesting this hearing?
Your Honor, if we can just take pause for one moment. Mr. Lee's father is here and he's not yet in the room. Oh, there he is.
Okay, sure. I'm holding on to it. All right, so Ms. Hopkins, you requested this hearing?
Yes, may it please the court. The request for the hearing arose because Mr. Lee's father is here today in the courtroom, as well as my client has been detained for over 65 days. He is from Houston. If you recall, you met his father months ago at the very first hearing. Other than the client, I believe he is now on back to a 2 instead of a 1. Did not know that when I requested the hearing. We were supposed to have a adjudication dispo hearing this morning. The state and myself mutually agreed to pass on that. One of the questions Judge Porter asked is, when was Mr. Lee's next detention hearing? I thought I would take the opportunity to plead to the court to allow Mr. Lee to be released to his father, since his father had traveled from Houston to here, and he would have supervision with his father there in Houston. And other than his level, sir, we would like to see him go home.
So, Ms. Paxton, I have a question for you. What is this? The report says he has 3 pending cases in Harris County for robbery, assault causing bodily injury, and assault causing bodily injury of a family member. Are there DTAs out of Harris County for him there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so when the,
I'm sorry, Patsy.
No, it's okay. I didn't know.
Okay. If I may speak, Your Honor, to that. His charges that are pending, two of them are, one has been dropped, one is pending deferred, the other one is pending a hearing, which was supposed to occur on Monday, March 8th. There are not DTAs out there. Once he was here, we have been in communication, his probation officer with the probation officer in Houston, as well as I have with the defense attorney there.
so what is the pending case still going on for Harris County?
The pending case is the robbery.
Ms. Paxton, do you have any notes about the JPD in Harris County? Any communications with them?
I can look, Your Honor.
Laura Baza, oh, I'm sorry. Keep on saying,
I'm trying to find the last contact she made with Harris County.
sure.
She did make contact with them back in February to let them know when court was scheduled.
Okay. So we don't know whether, I mean, just, we kept them informed. Did Harris County say anything? I mean, are they anxious to get him back?
Your Honor, I spoke with Selena, excuse me, and basically their court coordinator is just wanting us to contact them once we've made a decision on our case, and then they would move forward on their cases.
Okay, that's fair enough. So why is he level 2, Ms. Paxton? Can you tell me?
He is level 2. He lost points on the 3rd for having pencil lead in his room.
Pencil lead?
Pencil lead.
So is he giving himself tattoos? Do we have? No, I mean,
I'm not. No, I know it's not funny. I'm not sure. But that's a contraband item. They're not supposed to have that in their room.
right. So did we check to see if he has any additional tattoos?
Not that I know of. He also lost points on the 2nd for being over playful, disrupting class, and talking without permission.
So when is court set for again?
Court is set for the 30th at 9:30. The 30th of March.
So Dad, when did he leave Houston? When did you lose contact with your son?
December 27th or the 28th.
Your son lives with you?
Yes, sir.
See, Dad, right now my concern is because of living in Harris County, your son managed to make it up here, ran away, came up to Tarrant County, and then arrested for committing some crimes here in Tarrant County with other adults. You know the adults he was with?
No, sir, I do not.
Like, my concern is if I let him go, then he'll just run away from you again. And how do you, like, what do you think is going to be different this time to prevent that from happening?
I think he had a wake-up call. He's been in there 65 days. I mean, he's tired of being in there, so I think he can do what he got to do to at least stay out of there. I think he will.
Okay, and so I'm just kind of talking out loud, but why wouldn't getting arrested for robbery, assault, and assault be a wake-up call in Harris County?
Because they slapped him on the wrist. He just got right back out. He's been sitting here for a while. It's a wake-up call.
Your Honor.
Yes.
If I may refresh Dad's at our first detention hearing, Dad is familiar with one of the adults that my client was with. He stated that he did know him at that first detention hearing. He knew one of the people, and he agreed that that was a good home. He wasn't concerned about him being with that individual. And Mr. Lee is the one who spoke very sternly to his son. And if I recall, the judge was even willing to shake his hand if he was here in the courtroom that day. So although Dad is not exhibiting the strength that in supervision he has over his son, he has done so in previous hearings here before you. Sure, if he wasn't so nervous, he might be saying more.
So Dad, what do you do for work? I mean, are you going to be able to bring your son up for court every single time?
Yes, sir.
What kind of job do you have?
Right now, I'm not working.
Okay. Transportation is not going to be an issue?
Yes, sir.
You understand, if I let him go to you, that if your son runs away and doesn't appear for court, I will issue a warrant for you, and you will sit in jail until we find your son.
Understandable.
And if your son stays on the run for 2 years, you will sit in Harris or Tarrant County Jail for 2 years until he's found. You understand that, right?
Understandable.
All right. Okay, well, here's my thing, Mr. Lee. You know that I don't let kids out if they're not level 1. So I'm not going to let you out, but I will let you out when you do get to level 1. Ms. Paxton, when did you drop to level 2?
You dropped to level 2 on the 3rd.
Okay. So, Mr. Lee Sr., your son conceivably could make level 1 tomorrow morning. And so I don't know if you want to stay in town and wait it out and see if you can get to level 1 and then you can take him back to Houston, or if you just, want to go back to Houston and after he gets to level 1, come back up when you can. All right. But this is the policy that I have. Your son knew this. He knows what it is. And so he made the decisions that he made. There's a consequence to his decisions. But that's, as adults, as dads, we both know what it's like. When you make a bad decision, there's a consequence. So hopefully this is another learning moment for your son to know that even if he thinks it doesn't matter, it always matters to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And Ms. Paxton, this is pending on that young Mr. Lee here does not have any additional tattoos. So we do need to check before we release him. If he has additional self-inflicted tattoos from the graphite, the pencil leads, then yes, I'm not going to release him.
I'll check on that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Jaytwan Stewart.
Honor, I'm covering for Selena on this one.
Okay, thank you.
My understanding is that Mom was sent the Zoom link, but I don't know if she's on the call.
Oh, there was a Stewart earlier, but she wouldn't turn her camera on, so I removed her.
Oh, Your Honor, this is David Pearson. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't realize that was the Stewart you were speaking to. I told her that she didn't know what happened, so I told her to try to Zoom link back on.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was the same person.
Yeah, it could be, but just, I announced those rules at the beginning, so that's all right. At least I know that Mom's tried to make it. All right, so Mr. Stewart, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm reviewing your case, decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Pearson, your attorney is here. Let's see. So, Jatwan, you're 16 years old. You're level 1 outstanding. The police Arlington brought you in for deadly conduct. There was dispatch for a shooting call. Several black males running through an apartment complex. Witness heard gunshots, several bullet holes found in the walls. One said he heard the shooting and a bullet whizzed by his head. Said that after the shooting, saw a suspect vehicle, exchanged gunfire with several black males. Surveillance video showed Jatwan and 2 unknown people walking through the apartment complexes. Honda Civic stops. Jatwan and one of his companions approach the vehicle. Companion goes in the back passenger door. Jatwan appears to be upset. Threw his arms in the air. Companion gets out. And Jatwan draws a weapon. He gets behind the vehicle, fires several rounds at the suspect. They flee and fire back at Jatwan. Looks like a drug deal gone bad. So verified your identity through the high school and Instagram account, where it looks like you're a member of the Trench Gang, wearing the same clothes that you were during the shooting. This all happened while you had okay. All right, then evidently Arlington PD referred a case later on. They're doing surveillance for you, and you were a suspect in shooting offense for 2 counts of deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm. 3 unknown black males enter a vehicle. You found a 9mm pistol under where you were seating. So so Mr. Victorson, Jatwan was here and on the shooting, and we let him out?
No, Your Honor. My understanding is that this is a follow-up to the original offense.
Okay.
That they found the gun essentially when they located him.
Okay.
That's the way this reads to me.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Now, Jatwan has a pending case in Dallas County for evading arrest. And you're positive for weed. So you have a pending case in Dallas County. You're smoking weed. Evidently, you get arrested for having a shootout in an apartment complex that goes through walls and almost hits people. So, Mr. Pearson, I'm sorry. This is
May I speak?
Yes.
I know the mother desperately wanted to say that they have relocated the family to North Christian Hills to, in her words, a safer situation. They'd asked for a monitor. They would basically do anything that they could to get him released to their custody, pending the outcome of this case. And I know it's a serious offense. It's a gun offense. But he has been on level 1 outstanding, I think, for a week. And he was the last setting 10 days ago, he dipped below. There was something over a weekend, a card game where he didn't follow instructions or something. He barely dipped below it just for that one, just poor, the worst of timing for his sake. But anyway, I know that's what she wanted to make sure that she'll ask me if I pointed out to you. So I wanted to point that out.
Okay. And you can tell the mom that my concern is not the safety of Jatwan. My concern is the safety of the community. Just getting into shootouts in the street is something that is such clearly dangerous behavior. I'm not comfortable with him being in our community right now. It's going to take an extended period of time for me to be comfortable. It's just such egregious behavior. I mean, the next step after this is a murder or homicide case. And when we're getting that close with that low level responsibility, especially when he has a pending case out of Dallas County, Jatwan, you've got to make good decisions. And I just don't trust you yet is the problem that I have. All right. So I see your hand is raised. If you want to tell me something, you don't need to tell me anything, but if you have a question for me, I'll answer your question.
I got a question. What could it take for me to build up your trust? Because I just want to make you trust me, Your Honor. Because I feel like I just want to get your trust. That's all.
That's a very good question. All right, so J1, unfortunately, this is one of those things where I can't set like a set goal for you to reach. It's a convince me situation. And the reason why, as a judge, right now, I'm in the position I'm in, is that I have to think about if I let you go and you get another gun and get in a gunfight, and I'm not talking about J1, I'm saying you as a juvenile, right? And if you let go and gets another shootout and somebody dies, then that comes back on me, because I'm the person that said, hey, this kid was in a shootout while they had a pending case in Dallas County, while they're smoking weed, and I let them out, and then they shot somebody and somebody died. Then that makes me think, well, was that a good decision to release them? Right? So it's not this is not about J1 in every respect. Part of it is saying, given the facts that, or given the statements that I've been told, is it a reasonable, good decision to release this child? And so part of the answer, some judges would say, no, it's never a good idea because of the gunfight. Me personally, I'm leaving the door open. And so I'm saying, show me a pattern of behavior over time where I feel like I am comfortable releasing this child. I don't want to set a goal for you because that may not, the goal I set now may not be the right goal. Does that make sense? If I said get level 1-0 and hold it 30 days, and then, because the thing is, I keep my word whenever I make a promise like that, unless say something else happens I didn't think about. So I leave it open-ended because I want to be confident that if I release you, that there would be no danger to the community. That's just, you need to understand what you did was really, really serious and put a lot of people in danger, if it's true. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right. Yes. I hope that answered your question. Do you have another question?
Yes, sir. That's I have been level 1 up for like 35 days.
Yes, sir.
Out of 42.
7 days.
Well, out of 42 days, I was only not a level 1 up, I was a level 1A. That's the only time I ever dropped my level was to a level 1A. And I understand why I dropped my level, because I was talking probably when I wasn't supposed to be talking. That's why I was trying to see if I could.
I understand. J1, you're not really asking me a question, you're kind of telling me something. And I just want you to understand that I have very high standards. I have high standards for every kid that's back there. And that's why there is a big difference. Some judges may say level 1-0, level 1A, they don't care the difference. I care. Level 1-0 is level 1-0. That means you're not pushing the edge, that you're saying, I can follow the rules. I want to be a kid. I want to go back home where I'm going to follow all the rules. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's the perspective I'm coming from. So J1, I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding. Keep it up, because if you're not, then I'm not going to let you go. But I have to be extra careful because of how serious the nature of this offense is. Okay? Yes, all right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. If you can relay the message to the mother too, I'd appreciate it.
I sure will. Thank you.
Octavia Tucker. And Janine, I'm going to ask you this. Is Janine still here?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Lothar had to go somewhere, so I'm going to ask you to step in. All right. So, Mr. Tucker, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Lothar, was here, but then I think she had a conflict with another court, so she had to leave. So Ms. Hopkins is here in her place. Octavius, you're 16 years old. You've never been here before. Yesterday, Arlington police brought you in. They're saying they were dispatched with domestic and met with your mom, who said she confronted you about the use of a phone, resulting in a fight, which then allegedly you threw an aluminum can at her, which hit her, and then allegedly struck her several times with a closed fist, pushed her onto the bed, got on top of her, and continued to assault her. And then you left the scene before officers arrived, but then you came back, you admitted to what you did, and said your side was being on the phone trying to find someone to stay with, as your mom just told you that she was done caring for you and telling you to leave. Mom had redness on her elbow, and you were seen to have a small cut on your neck, but refused medical attention. So you're arrested and brought here. Looks like mom is not happy with you. And you have a history of runaway out of Dallas County. So I guess we don't have a mother here for Mr. Tucker?
Father is here, Your Honor.
Father's here. Okay. All right. So, great. Got some questions. Dad, are you and mom not together anymore?
Correct.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. And when's the last time Octavius lived with you?
Octavius has never left my residence, sir, because we have a joint conservatorship, custody, whatever. He decided that when the pandemic first broke out, that he did not get all his credits. I was working with the counselor and the educator at the school. They told him that he would have to go to an alternative school to get his credits, which was Pace High School. He was going to Duncanville High School. He refused. He snuck behind my back. Him and his mother plotted because we have a joint conservatorship. She took him out of the school, enrolled him in Grand Prairie, didn't consult with me, didn't tell me, didn't meet with me, just totally did what she wanted to do. And I'm here today. That's all I know is I'm here today. I got a phone call from her last night saying that he had jumped on her and that she had put him in jail, and I've been up all night, you know what I'm saying, because that's my child. He's lived with me, Judge, since he was 8 months old. He'll be 17 this year. I've always been there for him. He doesn't like the way I parent. Sometimes he doesn't want to do what I ask of him. You know, that's just typical teenager.
Okay, so Dad, I'm going to interrupt you here. So who has the primary managing conservatorship?
I do.
You do. All right. So the court order says you're the one that determines where he stays?
Yes.
Okay. And what school he goes to, right?
Yes.
So did you ask the school why they allowed mom to withdraw him if they have the court papers?
No, I did not.
Okay. No,
I did not, but
that may be something you want to follow up with. Okay?
Yes, sir. I'm thinking that Texas is like, they're for the moms. I've been dealing with these people forever since I've been here.
Who's these people?
They want, whether the mom is in wrong or not, they want the kid to be with the mom. I've been to Dallas and did the Father for Equal Rights. None of that stuff works for fathers. So dads just really have it real bad when they try to be involved when they go through a divorce or whatever, because officials always want to side with mom, you know, and that's been a problem with the state of Texas since he's been born. I have him.
Dad, just hold on for a second. Just want you to know, I am a state of Texas district judge, and there are many attorneys who will tell you to your face that I am equally harsh to both parents. I don't give any preference to mom, or I don't work against dads. All right. So just kind of slow down a little bit, because you're kind of making broad sweeping statements when that may not be the case. Maybe your experience, I'm not doubting that, but you can't necessarily say everything's like that. All right. So that being said, did you see who's the officer for this one? This is Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, Dad, can you get a copy of, where's your divorce out of? What state?
Texas.
Texas. Can you get a copy of the divorce, Mr. Lewis?
I talked to Mr. Lewis before I came down, and he said, don't bring anything but my body and my driver's license.
No, that's fine. But can you get a copy? Do you have like a copy at home?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, yeah, electron, just email a copy to Mr. Lewis just so we have it.
Okay.
All right, so, and what county was your divorce out of?
Tarrant.
It was here in Tarrant County.
Okay. Yes. Well, actually, it's kind of complicated, Judge, because initially the order was in Dallas, Texas, off of Walton Walker Boulevard or street or whatever it was. And then they decided she moved to Fort Worth and I moved to Dallas. So everything had to kind of like be reset, you know.
Judge, if I may, would you like us to look up a divorce decree?
Do you mind looking up real quick, Ms. Hopkins?
No, sir. We'll take care of that.
Just want to confirm that Dad is primary managing the Tarrant County case.
What is Dad's name?
Octavius Tucker Sr.
And the mom?
Monica Ann Simpson.
Thank you.
Your son use drugs?
Sir?
Did your son use drugs?
I know he smokes, I've seen him smoking a Black and Mild, no drugs though.
You sure he doesn't smoke weed in that Black and Mild?
Well, I've only seen him smoke a Black and Mild, Judge.
Do you want to find out? Do you want us to give him a drug test? I mean, it doesn't hurt his case, like it's not possession. It's really, I'm just offering this so you know if he's using drugs or not.
Yeah, you can, because his mother told me, Judge, last night that he had COVID. So I'm sorry if I seem like that's not important, but I have to get him, if he's released today, I have to worry about getting him vaccinated for this COVID before it kills him, because she did tell me that he tested positive for COVID or something like that.
You know how many kids under 17 have died of COVID across the country?
Probably under a handful.
Less than 50.
Yes, sir.
And you know how many of those already had health conditions? You know how many kids died without COVID across the country in a year?
No, sir, I don't.
More than 50?
Yes, sir.
Right. So,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I wouldn't. I'm not a doctor, but I wouldn't worry about that. Janine, were you able to find out?
Just hold on 1 second. Computer's a little slow.
Okay, that happens. All right, so Dad, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and if you're a primary managed conservator, I'm gonna release him either way, but my conditions for release are a little different. So I'm gonna release this onto you. We're gonna give him a drug test. We'll just, that way we have the results and you have the results and you know. It just helps you be a better father because more information always helps us, right?
Yes, sir.
And then on top of it, I'm gonna go ahead and temporarily modify. Yes? Ms. Hopkins? Okay. Ms. Hopkins, did you say something?
Okay.
Ms. Hopkins, did you say something?
There are a lot of Monicas, sir.
Okay. So Dad, if you are in fact permanent managed conservator or the primary joint managed conservator, I'm going to go ahead and temporarily modify that. I have the authority to that you're temporarily the sole managed conservator, that the child has no right to go with mother. Okay.
Yes, sir.
At this point, until this case is done, that your child is 100% with you, and he is not allowed to go to mother. It's not her choice, not his choice. And so once the case is done, it goes back to what the old court order is, but the law allows the juvenile court to modify possession schedules while cases are pending. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if it turns out you're not the primary, then I'll revisit it. But if you are the primary like you had represented, then yes, Octavius will go with you, and he can only go to where you say he can go. Mom does not have a right to take him. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, hopefully this problem with Octavius goes away, and hopefully he understands the situation. But I think the important thing is to get him away from mother at this point. And we'll give him a drug test. We'll make sure you know the results. Maybe that gives you information, good or bad. If he's clean, that probably makes you feel good. If he's dirty, well, now you know what else to work on.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anaya Johnson.
Judge, I'll be in your courtroom in a second.
All right, thank you.
Did you know Miss Johnson's going to be in person, right?
Is she? Okay, she's the one that requested, right? She said it was better in person?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna turn the laptop around. Okay, good. What was my notes from tonight? Hello. All right, I think Miss Hopkins is on her way here. Mr. Jones's mom, did she stick around? Yes, for your sister. Okay, good. Just wait on your turn. One thing post-COVID where I think Zoom is going to help is a lot of times with CPS when there are different counties to be able to bring them in. I think there's a benefit to Zoom on certain things. We just need to figure out how to use it.
Judge King, you
Okay, I
came
think we're all
back
here.
now.
Right. So now you remember Janine, don't you, Ms. Hawkins? Okay,
You just
so
heard
this is
me
a
say
detention
that.
hearing. You're supposed to have these every 10 days, but it's only 5 days.
Sorry. Judge Kim, I overheard you just say there's a room for Zoom after COVID. Anyways, let's finish this. I think I have pleurisy. I don't know what that is. Last night my side started hurting when I was laughing, and then it never went away. So I'm gonna go and get it checked out after this episode. I'm totally fine. I'm I'm being a little bit of a baby, to be honest. Also, I broke a jar of flour and it went everywhere in my kitchen. It's still everywhere. It's just flour everywhere. So maybe part of me is just trying to escape from that reality as well.
Because I want to keep track, right? I'm just concerned about you, right? And so I'm just reviewing a case, deciding how we can help your situation get better. So you're 14 years old. You're level 1 outstanding. Good. All right, so if I remember the last time we were here, CPS was here. I think we have people from the department right now. Y'all, I said we would reassess this in 5 days because you weren't sure if you could find a place for her. Has that changed from the department?
No, Your Honor. We have not been able to secure a placement for her.
Okay. So the first question is to me, why not?
She had an interview yesterday for a possible placement, but they denied her due to her excessive aggravative behavior. Right now we are looking into another possible placement, but they want a child specific contract, which means it'll take time to complete that.
How much time will that take?
I want to say maybe a week if they accept the contract.
I beg your pardon?
A week if they accept the contract.
So how long will it take to get a contract to them?
We are waiting for the response. The moment that they give me they contact me, I will give them what they need from me, which is what treatment we want for Zanaya while she is there. It'll go back to them and for approval.
Let me rephrase this. How many days are you asking to hold Zanaya?
What was that?
How many days are you asking me to hold this child?
You are able to give us 1 more week. I want to say next Friday, to see if this possible placement is going to be able to accept her or not.
And what if they say no?
She'll come back to the office. We're still going to continue to keep looking for placement for her.
Okay. So the question is for. Oh, Shelley. So Ms. Brazel, so it looks like she's medication compliant. Otherwise, she would not be level 1 outstanding, right?
Correct. And they did lower her one-on-one. It's gone down from high to moderate.
What's gone down?
The suicide risk.
Okay. Oh, good. So, how are the meds working for you? They're okay? They're good or they're okay? They're okay. All right. Like, do you think they need to be adjusted at all? Or is this, they're okay? All right.
Could you clarify the reason for the denial by the placement she interviewed?
Assaultive behavior. Yeah, assaultive behavior. That's the thing tonight. It's kind of your past. It's kind of hanging on. And so it makes it tough to find a placement for you. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know, right? Okay. So I have a question for you, Zion. I know you don't like it here, but I'm stuck right now as a judge making this decision. On one hand, I'm looking at it saying, I really don't want you here. And I can order CPS to come and take you today, and you will be in their office because there's no placement. And I don't know how comfortable it is. I don't know what the food's like. I don't know, but you would be there and not here. Okay. On the other hand, I want to be fair to CPS, right? And they have a job to do. And this really takes away resources that, because they have to stay within the office. What it means is there are other children who are like in emergencies that I have to pull the workers away from them because they have to sit with you, okay, for 24/7. I'm trying to balance that. Now, part of why we're in this situation is because of the decisions that you made, right? Some of the aggressive and assaultive behavior. So it's not really CPS's fault that you made this decision, but it is CPS's responsibility to do what I told them to do. All right. So that's kind of where I'm stuck right now, trying to make that. It's not an easy decision for me. My question for you that would help me make my decision is, if we made a deal that if you stay here for one more week and next Friday, if they don't have a placement, you will go to the office. They will take you. Is that something that you're okay with? Just 1 week, and then, because they're telling me they're asking me for one more week, and if they find a placement, great. If they don't, they will come and get you, and you'll go to the office. Does that sound okay to you? I know you don't have a choice, but I'm just wondering how you feel. You don't have a feeling? And to them, my opinion, it doesn't really matter. They just have to do it. So, well, what's your opinion? What do you want?
I don't know, because I know these people, like, how long they've been looking for places. They've been looking for places for me since I got out of Dallas County, and they still haven't found a placement. And when they did it Dallas County, they left me there for 9 months looking for a placement and still haven't found a placement. So I know next week they're not going to have a placement.
Did y'all hear that, department? She's saying that she knows how CPS works and that you're not really looking for a placement. Last time when she was in Dallas County, I guess juvenile, she's saying y'all left her there for 9 months and never found a placement. So when she gets out of here, you're not going to really look for a placement either. So you understand, I'm a lot different than Dallas County, right? And so I hold them to it. And so last time we were here, I said, we'll come back in a week, because they asked for a couple weeks. And I'll say, I want to come back in a week just to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So I didn't tell them they're going to have to take it today, right? They asked for the 2 weeks. They're still asking for 2 weeks, but I came back today because I want to make sure they're not dropping the ball on you, right? And I don't want them to forget about you. So I'm kind of inclined to give them, because it was kind of a reasonable request, because you're already on probation for assault out of Dallas, right? And you have the new cases and then the new cases. I just want to make sure, like, I want your opinion. I'm not necessarily going to do exactly what you tell me to do, but I at least want to know what you think. But you can live with 1 more week, because that's kind of what they're asking for at the beginning. I have to be fair to both sides. But yes, Ms. Hopkins?
If I may, one of the other options, I think there might be a third, is that she is released to CPS. They take her to the doctor. The doctor admits her to Millwood, where she came from. They had her in Millwood before here to try to get her meds
I'm going to
adjusted.
pause so they can catch up. Ms. Hopkins, her attorney, is suggesting the third option is release to the department, go to a doctor who then admits her to Millwood, where she came from. Is Millwood even willing to take her back?
I don't know. I believe CPS was looking into that in Dallas Behavioral.
Laura, do you know if Millwood is willing, or Dallas Behavioral is willing to take her, to admit her?
Dallas Behavioral was not willing to take her because of her behaviorals when she was last there.
Okay. What about Millwood? Do you know?
I do not know about Millwood.
Okay.
Judge,
yes.
Excuse me, but how that would work would be that we would take her to Children's Hospital downtown, and the psychologist there, psychiatrist, would evaluate her. And then he would determine whether she needed to go to a psych hospital. And then if he determined that she needed to go to a psych hospital, then they would locate one and take her there. But if they said that she didn't need to go to the psych hospital, then she'd just be released. Just so you know, that's how that works. And I'm thinking Millwood probably would not take her back.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's a guess, but here's the thing is, I don't even know if Zanaya needs to go to Millwood or a psych hospital right at this point. I mean, I remember the first time I met you, and your behavior is really different, right? So, like, I think the meds are helping. I mean, helping in the fact that we're not having conflict, right? So, all right. So, department, I'm gonna give you one more week, but Friday, you know, either one way or another, she's leaving here on Friday. All right.
We understand.
So,
we understand, Judge.
I'm trying to be fair and reasonable with you guys, but I can't keep her indefinitely. So hopefully that gives y'all another opportunity and gives you time to plan. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Now I'm sorry. And I will say one thing is the worst parts about life, the only thing like I'm really scared of is the unknown. And the bigger the unknown, the more scared I am. Okay? At least you know that the unknown's not there. Like you're leaving next Friday. Okay, so just make it one more week, and then you'll be going somewhere else. But I don't want to keep you here longer. But I have to give them a fair chance, and a lot of their fair chance has to do with kind of what your history is. It just makes it tougher for them, so it buys them a little bit more time. All right, but I'm glad you're not making things worse. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. I know you're disappointed. I know you want to leave. I want you to leave too. I don't want you to stay here, but I've got to find a situation that's safe for you to go to. Okay. All right. Thank you, John Sanaya.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Hopefully we can find a place.
Well, well, well. We come to the end of our evening. Thank you all for being here. Hi, that is the way I see it. I hope you are well. Everybody, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Lots of fun things here. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and exciting things. Yeah, I have a few projects in the pipeline right now that I'm just trying to learn how YouTube Daddy will react to. So, you guys know how it is. I really, really appreciate all of your kind words and caring thoughts tonight. I am going to go get checked out, and I will let you all know what ends up happening. Hopefully, it'll be nothing. They'll say, "You're crazy, lady. You were dancing around your kitchen too much," which is probably partly true. So, anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will talk with you tomorrow. Look at that. One arm out and one arm. ADD much. Oh, med check. Last minute med check for everybody. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.